In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Lawn Pro AK, your year-round professional property maintenance company, providing services such as weekly lawn maintenance, driveway sweeping, snow and ice management, and tons more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located at 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Menegato's Accounting, locally owned and operated advisory and tax accounting solutions. Passion, experience, diligence. Learn more at menegatosaccounting.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted, Alaskan-made cider. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Check them out at doubleshovelcider.com.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation. Find their products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more at the Treehouse AK and other dispensaries around the state. Ask your local bud tender about AKO.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Your all-in-one cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Oh, crank it up there, D.
Ooh, the late.
We got 4 there that time, didn't we?
Did we get 4 in that?
Did you just crack one, Trent?
Oh, kind of.
He just re-cracked it.
That's where the Caribou Call didn't get the full open. It's kind of like
He just twisted it. Like when you used to like cut it up when the people used to chew and they would just cut the whole can open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just did the.
it made a cute little sound.
He just made the sound with his voice.
Great thing about Caribou Calls is that they all work.
Yeah,
That's right, man. They do, no matter what.
they do work. These guys have a real problem down there at Double Shovel. There's a whole herd off there.
I heard
Just
that.
mills around.
I couldn't even get out the door to get here.
It's like, someone get these caribou out of the way.
Was
Get
it-
to the recording.
Was it cracking over there, or just
The
one of those deals you learn?
the inside was.
Yeah.
The outside was. It's raining.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got the heaters out there now, though.
Oh,
Fire-
all set
fire
up?
pits are
Oh, you got
coming
the
soon.
heaters and the fireplace and all that?
Fireplace in a couple, probably a month, and then. But yeah, we got the heaters, roaring.
Where do you
Heaters, like the
Yeah,
propane,
the tall
pumped in?
outdoor ones.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's a little.
Where do you guys get your firewood? Because I know you guys have those fires going 7 days a week. Like,
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have like a specific. You don't have a
We've
specific
tried
vendor
a
or
bunch
anybody.
there's a couple real good ones, and there's
Yeah.
a couple that they're available. No one else is, and then we
Yeah.
try out
Actually,
new people too.
I sent you the message of the one guy
Yeah.
that knows
I
it. I'm not
never
gonna
hit. I
blow him
never
up.
hit him up, but
Yeah, hit him up because he's like, oh, I know you want the dry. And he has like the dry and all the stuff that he like sells to whoever, but he's like prides himself in having the stuff
the
that's
seasoned rotation.
Yeah, and he ended up knowing me from back in the music day. He's like,
Nice.
"You look familiar," and he's like, "Arctic Float." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "Oh," and he just starts like saying some rap, and he's just like, "Oh," he's like, I thought you looked familiar," and he's just,
Come on, sing along. Dance for this wood, Daniel.
yeah. So I got the dry if you need it. That guy I sent you, man, I'm telling you, that's all he does. He just gets it and cures it up.
And it's not the bug guy?
No, not that guy.
Because I've heard stories of the bug guy.
No, you don't want that bug guy.
Yeah, so you found someone since.
Yeah, on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, share that contact with me.
I will. I thought I sent it to you, but I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has like really good mix. And he's like, most people don't ask for the dry. And I was like, what? Do people buy like not so dry wood?
They just don't ask, I guess.
Yeah.
I did get a
I made sure I was like, listen.
I want seasoned wood.
Yeah, I've had like 3 different guys come. The last stuff, you know, it's like Bootsy came through with the whole truck full of like wet wood on the last whenever we went. And I was like, bro, I know exactly where you got this from.
Yeah, we need a lot of oil and gas to burn this.
Yeah.
So last week I
grease.
got a nice gift. I came home from the cidery after a long day, and they're actually stacked like in a perfect pyramid. It was a pyramid, yeah. John Lau cut a bunch of wood that had been seasoned for a year and put it in the driveway.
Papa
And,
son, huh?
Yeah, and left
Nice,
left an extra axe out that was just newly sharpened for me.
Ooh.
But I was a little worried because, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, women walking down the street and stuff, and it's just like, you know, busting out your chopping skills with people walking by, and you have your flannel on. That's just like too Alaskan for inside turning in neighborhood. So I'm not gonna be able to do it when
You just got to go the east side. That's the only
yeah, I mean, just listen, I just don't want like a crowd standing around watching.
You see how he's doing that, son?
Oh my God.
Look at that sweat. flannel and some extra tufts.
That's the traditional Alaskan wear right there.
Yeah, that's the lady call instead of the
the
Caribou
lady call.
Yeah, I was
Chopping
told
wood.
by a seasoned veteran that if you wanted to get your old lady all fired up, just go out there and chop some wood out there in front of the window, and it's on.
It's a fact. It is a fact.
Yeah, because there's just something about a dude out there cutting wood and the cold air, you're just breathing it out. Yeah, sweating. Yeah. Honey, grab me a beer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming right up. I made you enchiladas too.
Be in a minute, honey.
I'll be done when I'm done.
I actually did a lot of wood cutting on the COVID days when we were just home, stuck at home, dude. I think I had a fire every single night from that March to summertime. Just cutting it up in the backyard. You couldn't go nowhere. Just it was really nice to have the fire. Actually, it burned the bottom of the plate of the fire thing.
Oh yeah,
where it just went all the way through, so the ash is just like going all the way to the grass.
Yeah, that's
just
a
like
well-used fire pit.
Yeah, I need to holler at
That's how done right.
somebody, Galen.
Yeah, I'm making a little
Original Galen.
Yeah, OG
about that.
Yeah, he's
the
good
fire.
at those
The
fire
fire.
pits. I still got that double shovel one he made me.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Alaska Wild Project episode 32. We finally got the man, the myth, the legend, the man
Legendary.
from the restoration man, Trent Taylor, man. Thanks for coming in, Trent.
You bet. This is just about past my bedtime.
Is it right there? 7:30?
Those are early ones for us.
Actually, I was really glad that you had Jack and Earl, or John and Earl on.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, I'm sweating. I'm like, man, I might be the oldest guy on this show.
You're on the old codger list?
Cadre of the month.
I was hoping we weren't going to get a nap break that night.
You might tonight. No, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome to have you.
Welcome, man.
A lot of good feedback on the John and Earl, on the old codger boys. We need to get some more old men in here.
Oh, I enjoyed that a lot, listening to those guys.
Just to get their knowledge on all that old stuff.
I don't know, man. I just have like a man crush on like old codgers that just have like unbelievable amounts of old knowledge and experience, and like, I mean, those guys could probably sit down and tell you stories for. There isn't enough moose hunting trips that you could hear of them all, and then I'm sure they tell a story again a few years later with another twist that just made it even better.
Yeah.
And you believe it anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, old dudes, man. I would like to believe that one day when I'm like in my 60s and 70s that I'm like the old guy that my daughter's his husband's his buddies are like, oh man, this guy, he's got all this, experience and history, and hopefully I'm one of those dudes because I aspire to be a John Lau.
So much to learn, dude. I mean, that's where I got my whole cooking game. Like and you can talk to Bootsy or my brother, anyone. Like, I wouldn't even go out with the boys. Like, I learned to raft the Kenai and do a lot of hunting from my buddy Kendo and Daryl Montanani. Shout out to them. He was an executive chef. I mean, this is a guy, like, you're coming out to the Kenai River, and this guy's cooking lobsters and, like, crazy beef ribeyes and all this stuff. And
bacon wrap scallops.
Yeah, showed me the cast iron, and he had the cook bag, and like, now it's like, I know how to do the cook bag. And
is he the originator?
He was the original of the cook bag and how to cook on the fire and the cast iron pan, and he had the water bottle full of oil and all the little things that is just like, I just picked up from them, and I was like, man, why would I go with my friends who just bring hot dogs? I can go with these guys.
Yeah.
And they're just like cooking and drinking and telling me all these stories and showing me all the tricks and all that stuff. It was like, I just...
Meat Fest at 2 a.m.
Oh, man, I just absorbed so much from that. We probably learn a lot from you, Trent, actually.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that.
You have a camp cook game?
I cook better at home.
Yeah.
I'm a camp cook. I can do it, pretty good. But, it's funny you were saying that. I was thinking about, after about 2 weeks of the summer, my kids are like, so what kind of we don't want any more hot dogs. Like something else. We want a sandwich. I'll take just an apple or,
it's like
no more hot
healthy.
dogs.
All right.
But most of the places I go out, we have a cook area. So I don't really consider it outdoor camping,
Yeah.
Our place on the Kenai, we have a stove and stuff. So we get it done. And I don't like to just mess around. I like prepping stuff.
Yeah, and make good food, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, part of the outdoor experience and part of the whole ambiance of it is eating good.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You drink good beer, you drink good wine, you drink good whiskey, you eat good food. It's good vibes, it's good energy. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just like every bit part of, it's like if it's a shitty, cold, rainy day, at least you can have some biscuits and gravy and Bloody Marys. Like, hey, win, right?
We always try and have, every trip you try and have a signature meal or something. Something pretty good, but you always have something.
Yeah.
Make a brisket or something or smoke. Just something that's not the norm, the spaghetti and the normal stuff that is good, but some of the people go, ooh, you put a little effort into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of Alaskans eat better when they're camping or they're hunting or they're fishing than they do at home. You get in your regular routine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like you try to have your signature dish, like, okay, Memorial weekend, you just know Saturday we're going to just make these ribs and cook them all day or whatever.
Potluck with the whole crew and somebody's going to bring something good.
Yeah, and Trent, man, big Trent, man. Just to shout out Trent's Instagram page, it's at AKPipes, AKPipes, and we're actually looking at the picture right now of that moose tongue that you got there. I mean, I got to give a big, I love your page because your page is all about the things that you're doing with your kids and introducing them to all these things that you're doing and all these foods and all these subsistence style foods that you're bringing to them and introducing your kids who are between the ages of 4 and 12, I'd say.
8 and 9.
8 and 9. Yeah, that's between 4 and 12.
Yeah, she lives almost 10 and Lewis is 8. Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's just man, you're doing the tacos, you got the moose tongue, you got the sheep burger, you're doing the prawns, you're doing the shrimp from here, and you're just constantly, and in this picture right here where you're doing the
herring eggs.
The herring eggs. I mean, you're not just doing the regular stuff. You have all these things that are just amazing that you're enjoying with your kids and you're introducing them. What is it like to be hey, Liv, I'm going to pull out this moose tongue.
She's good. It's really, I feel pretty lucky to have so much stuff to forage. I learned a lot of this too. Extra stuff is that during the COVID, it's all I could do is go outside, or cabin or whatever. What are all these people doing in the woods? I had to figure it out. Well, morel picking. I had never morel picked. I'm I got to figure this out. Yeah. Figured it out. It was delicious. Awesome.
Dude, you went on a major morel.
Oh, yeah.
Morel kick.
I just figured it out. Walk around the woods, do this, do that, look for this. Go during the day when everybody else is at work.
Yeah.
I'd get up at 5 a.m, drive down there. I'd be back at work at noon. Just do it for a couple hours, clear my head, listen to some podcasts or something.
Yeah.
And then when we were up at Cropper's cabin, there's a fire up there. And I took my kids, and Liv is they're picking morels, they're harvesting. I just think it's important for them to know that there's all this stuff is available. Like, you don't have to go to the store. You don't have to buy all that stuff. We have food. We get salmon from the Kenai, you know, shrimp, halibut, you know, meat, game meat.
Yeah.
My older kids used to say, well, Dad, what happens if you don't get a moose? I'm like, well, we'll just go to the store and get some meat. And they're like, no.
We can't do that.
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna starve. We're not those type
Costco's
of people.
open.
We're not store people.
And if you sell it to the young kids like it's something like it's not a big deal, then they don't even
Yep.
know. I'm sorry, this is kind of bad, but so we made some Rocky Mountain sheep oysters.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and what do we tell the kids? What are those, Dad? They're
Yeah.
chicken nuggets. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
these are good. They don't know. I mean,
man.
you just everything was chicken for a while, and then they don't really. They don't.
Do you tell
I
them
will-
afterwards?
Yeah.
You tell them say afterwards, like,
Yeah,
hey,
and they're
you just
just
ate
like,
that. Huh.
I will say I knew when we ate the Rocky Mountain oysters up at a sheep camp for the first time. I was like, that texture just ain't right. And then I looked at them and they're like,
different.
I was like, damn it.
What would you say is the texture closest to?
Kielbasa, like
Kielbasa?
a very fatty kielbasa, like
Like a soft sausage.
Yep.
I know it sounded
And it
really,
kinda-
really weird.
Kind of has
But
like,
that's what a kielbasa. It's almost
It's very
mushy,
soft,
almost
yeah.
mushy in the case.
and then it has that like kind of outside that's kind of like a hard boiled egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah,
that's
like
what like it's smooth on the outside and you're like, oh, this isn't right.
That's the casing
pierces.
pop. Yeah. No, it's
So-
not bad. It's funny too. All these stuff, when you eat out like out in the fire, over the fire, and then you come back and cook them at home, you're like, it's not as good as when I was 200 miles away, freezing or whatever.
Right when you earned it.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
and that's how I started trying a lot of this weird stuff, and it's like delicious. And then you go back, it's okay.
Yeah.
How'd you prep that moose tongue?
So there was a side. I always like get ideas, and then I kind of make it my own. So boiled it for a long time, slow, with a bunch of spices. It called for some certain peppers, but I didn't have that. But I did have some. What are those Mexican peppers? The green ones, green chilies, basically the smoked ones that I had frozen from New Mexico, and I put those in.
Nice.
With some garlic, onions, and stuff. Do that for a long time till it softens. Take it out, remove the skin, chop it up real fine, and then you fry it like carnitas.
Oh, yeah.
And get it crispy on it, salt, pepper, whatever. And then really the key is the fresh ingredients. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like a good taco, you could have poop in there. And if you have the right ingredients,
It's going to taste
Yeah.
delicious.
yeah, you have, fresh peppers, onions.
Yeah.
I love the Mexican cheese, the queso. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know, and
Yeah.
you just, they have now at the Fred Meyer Cars, whatever, those little street taco, they're smaller than the regular, so they're only about yay big.
Oh,
the flour.
yeah,
The
yeah.
flour.
They
one,
do,
right?
and they do corn, and so
Oh,
I fry
yeah.
up corn ones, and then that way you can just have a couple bites, make
Yeah.
a couple, and not pig out on a big,
Yeah.
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 Big style.
Makes it more fun that way too.
It does. Yeah.
You can mix it up what you're putting on each one.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, your kids have been exposed to so many different activities just following your page, as I have. I know recently you got that Kenai riverboat, and you guys just been out there just slaying them out there on the Kenai. It's just amazing.
They don't know
to
how
see.
lucky they are. I mean, I grew up with a lot less, but we still were happy.
Sure.
But we've evolved, and things are better now than they were when we were kids. But we still had fun. But they have so many opportunities to try and do everything. We're just having fun.
That's the best. That's the best. Yeah, we didn't grow up with all that stuff, but you still get out there and get out on those activities and when you're young,
You didn't know. You didn't know.
You
any
didn't
better.
know. You didn't know
Yeah.
until
So we
you
had a
grow up.
canoe, like I didn't have but we did everywhere. I remember doing the Tango Lakes, and my parents are big outdoor people. We moved up here because my parents came up for their graduation college trip, and then they're from Oregon, and then they said that we're staying.
This is it.
So yeah, that little history that was me is that then they moved up here. I was born in Oregon. I'm Mexican by blood,
I was just going to ask what your ethnicity is.
I can be anything, whatever you want me to be. That's what I am. But,
You just blend in everywhere.
But so, and then my parents are white though, like our friend Jack and Rick here. So
Rick Fifield.
Sorry, I forget Rick, Mr. Fifield, the famous one. But anyway, Brandon. So they, but they were put it in for an adoption. They're like, hey, we got this brown kid. Do you want him? My mom's like, yeah, we'll take him. So at 2 weeks old, I moved to Alaska.
Oh.
And I've lived here ever since. So, and my parents were big into outdoors. It's funny, the story is like, I'm like, Dad, how come we don't hunt? And he's like, it's too much work. But we had, sheep, goat, moose, caribou, nice everywhere. And I'm like, how come we don't do this?
Yeah.
Too much work. And they did it, but they did it all, and then they stuck to fishing. So I grew up fishing a lot.
Where did you guys go as you're little?
We did a lot of remote flow trips. I told you about this my parents, some of the rivers we did, we'd end up in a village in Western Alaska.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, how did you get here? Like, people weren't doing it. We would do it with rafts and paddles.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, there's no nice stuff.
Yeah.
My sleeping pad was my fold-out life vest.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I slept on.
Yeah.
And, you fish with Okie drifters, and we would make our own lures. I mean, stuff that seemed, I didn't realize how kind of rusty. Yeah, but that's what we did to make it work, to be affordable. Because we didn't have a lot, but if you were frugal and kind of made it right, you could do it.
Yeah.
And you couldn't buy your own lures because you lose so many.
Totally.
So
Too expensive,
we did a lot of that growing up, and Tangle Lakes and stuff, and all kinds of outdoor stuff. And then I got into sports. I thought I was going to be a professional baseball player. So, because I heard you guys talking about how that age where the kid quit going to camp, and I'm like, that was me. I was like, no, I can't go anywhere. I got to play baseball.
Yeah, it's like it's
13,
like
14.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly. Like 8th grade, 9th grade.
Yeah, I don't want to get behind. So
Yep.
I stopped doing all my outdoor stuff. Then fast forward, I done with college, and I'm like, okay,
mid-20s now.
somewhere around there. But I ran a baseball team, men's league team forever, and we thought we were competitive. We traveled outside, go down to California, play tournaments, and get our teeth kicked in. But it was fun.
Oh, I bet the partying was a good old time.
No, we didn't party.
No. Went home, went to bed, got ready for the game tomorrow.
But, all these experiences, and I have older kids. My oldest daughters, well, I can't say their age; they'll be mad at me, but they're older, and they're adults and they're working. And so then I found myself a young parent with kids, and I was done with sports. So now what am I going to do? My parents are like, oh, we have a place in the Kenai. We're down here all summer. I'm like, you are? Come on down. So I started going back every August after sports were over, and just started slaying, back to where I was fishing. I was a nut. I'd get up 5 a.m. I've got to be silver fishing, go take a nap, go back out, trout fish. I mean, I did all that crazy stuff. Now I just kind of relax and enjoy it.
Yeah. It seems like you do all that stuff as you're growing up with your dad or your family, and then you become a young man in your teens, and you're out there chasing girls, and you kind of get away from it a little bit. At least I did. And you're going to school, and maybe you think you're playing, like I played soccer and you played baseball and you were playing football, and you think that maybe there's a chance, at least for a scholarship or whatever. So you're pushing hard. You don't want to miss the tournaments. You're hanging out with your friends. Your parents are still going to go out and go fishing and camping, and you're going to hang out with your.
You left out the girls. But
Well, the girls. You're hanging out with the chicks and all that.
Byproduct.
And then after you're done with all that, and you're done with school and you're done with college, and you realize, like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be still going to the Pioneer Bar. You know what I'm saying? When you're at certain point, you're like, man, I got to go back out to what you used to do.
Yeah.
And so it's almost, I actually feel bad because I have a lot of friends that never really had that initial where their families would take them out to do these things. And I almost felt to me like it was up to me to take these people that had never done it, because they're like, well, what are you doing this? Well, I'm just hanging out. They're not going out anymore. There's no more parties. There's no more like hitting the bars up and all that stuff. And it's like, well, I'm going to the Kenai, or I'm going to Homer, or I'm going to go do this.
It's way better than Netflix.
Yeah, way better. Well, they didn't even have Netflix. and so then as you introduce these people, and it's like you almost fall in love with it.
Yeah,
definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And then once you have your family, like, you want to show your kids that love of all these things that you did, and obviously you do it a little bit better. Now we're not putting our kids in the in the life vest pad, you know. It's everything's gotten a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so you just think like, man, you hope that your children, you obviously, it's pretty sad to know, which like as your children are growing up, they're about the same age as mine, 8 and 10. Like there's going to be a point here in about 5 years where like they're not going to want to come with dad.
No.
They don't want to come with dad. They don't want to come out with the family. You know what I'm saying? It'll be just me and the wife to go out and continue to do that. But guess what? In about 7 years after that, they're going to come back and be like, oh, Dad, can I borrow that trailer? You know what I'm saying? Can I borrow that drift boat? Can I borrow that raft?
My big kids have come back, and nothing makes me happier, you know, to have these my grown daughters coming back and say, you know, we're coming down, we want to catch reds. Man, where were we for the last 5 years?
Yeah.
You know, but now they're in it. They're like, when's it coming? They do that. They come out fish around the trout opener. They'll come that weekend after, because the trout openers, that's my day. Like, you know, but they'll come and they have all these memories that they remember now, and they're coming back to them, because that's really exactly what happened to me.
Yeah,
you know, forgot all about it, chasing, you know, girls and sports and having a good time. Yeah, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is not how I want to live. Yeah, and you start to remember to do all the fun stuff you used to do.
Yeah, your priorities change.
Yeah. Well, you brought up memories, and that's the main thing is to instill those memories in your kids, where eventually they're like, oh, you know what? I remember we used to come out here back when I was little, or I remember sleeping here, and I remember this bend, or I remember this. I fell in the water here, or, you know, things like that. Whereas in the moment, as a dad, sometimes you're like, man, they're not enjoying it as a kid. You're kind of making them come out, and they're cold and they're miserable and all that stuff. But those are the moments where they're like, man, I remember that time that we froze out there on this.
Oh, they
thing.
Totally remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do.
My daughters, I took them on a remote float trip, 10-day float trip out.
Wow.
Where'd you go?
The Connect Talk. That's one of our favorites. It was
the Connect Talk?
Connect Talk, yeah. It's a real popular one, and I can say that's why I don't say it. It doesn't matter. But when we did it, it wasn't popular. But so I brought my kids out there. They were 7. I have twin girls, so they were 7, and I think the oldest was 9. And it was a 10-day float. Guides do it in like 5 days, but we take our time. And after night 1, my daughters are like, we want to go home.
Oh, man.
And I said, look, here's the deal. We got 95 miles to go. There's only so fast we can go. We can't go home.
Yeah.
And they had that look with me, and then they're like, okay. And then they had a blast the rest of the whole time.
Awesome.
And
they just switch gears.
Oh yeah,
like
I want to go home sometimes too, but
yeah,
you just gotta suck it up. You know, and we've all been on that trip. I just want to go home.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah, and then just fight it off. Like, oh, trust me, like. Walking out on a hunt, like, or what, with a full pack, you're like, gosh, I want to go home. Why am I doing this?
Why did I sign up for this? But those are the ones you remember.
Oh,
dude.
no.
Yeah. Like, you don't remember the time everything went well and everything was perfect and the weather was nice.
When does that?
No, you remember the time where you were miserable and you were sick and you were in the tent and it was pouring rain and you broke your this or that. And, you know, and that's the one you remember.
Well, and what I think about too is, and I'm sure it's gonna happen down the line with your kids, where they went out with you on that float and they probably learned how to start a fire, or they probably learned when someone falls in the water to get them out and get their clothes off and get dry clothes on and get them dry, or just those like little outdoor learning experiences where like they'll go out with their friends where there isn't really any adults or like seasoned vet type adults, where something's going to go wrong and like your kid's going to kind of know how to handle the situation, or have been in a situation, or experienced a trip with their parents or friends. You know what I mean? Like they're going to know how to start. Like I always think to myself, like I want my daughter to go out in a, you know, say she has a boyfriend that's a city slicker or something. Yeah. Like she'll show this fool how to start a fire. Right. You know, she'll show this guy how to skin a caribou. You know what I mean? There's like, I want to make sure there's these like skills instilled in them, where they know, at least like if they're out with a group of friends on a camping trip in Seward and nobody knows how to start a fucking fire, she's like, I got this, you know, and like
step back.
They learn that in those trips, those moments, and those things that like they're not thinking it's a big deal,
Well, even if they don't know that they're learning them, they're learning them.
Yes.
And then
It's
like
funny.
riding a
You
bike,
can
once
put
you
it to
come
work.
back, they're going to be like, oh, I know what to do.
Like, it's funny you just say that, but our kids probably know how to start a fire. And that's like normal.
Yeah.
I remember being in Seward and like these people, and they took the saran wrap of cars thing and just put the whole thing in the fire pit like that
With a
squirted
fire-
like foil on it, and they're like, it started for a second, and they're just like, they're baffled that it wouldn't catch on fire. Like, I mean, they didn't even but there's that's the other level.
They don't
Like,
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said
So
firewood should burn.
Fire right up.
I just put this whole bottle of propane or lighter fluid on it.
on there. Yeah.
It didn't go.
You need the one with like the kindling in the bottom, and then the fire Duraflame in the middle, and then they're all stacked like a pyramid,
You know what?
whatever,
That's actually
already.
a really good idea. If someone actually sold the bundle, but had like attached with it the kindling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you could just drop it in
you
there.
you have like the little kindling, then you have the little sticks, and then you have the bundle where you could just light the top.
And
and
the
be like,
Duraflame's like in the middle.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. Be on the
You got to
lookout.
start with that Utah wood, though.
Oh, the
Boxwood.
Utah wood.
You guys know about that boxwood?
You don't know
dude.
about the boxwood?
I'm an old guy.
I can't
What
tell.
about boxes and wood?
I know. I can't tell you where to get it because it's like my little secret.
Okay.
I like hoard it and buy it. And anyway, you can buy wood that's pre-boxed out of Utah. And I don't know what or how they make this wood so dry and perfect. But in the bottom, when you open up the box, it's a box, and they've got the wood perfectly stacked. And it's
Instead of the bundle that's like tough to pack and something, they found
It's
a
in
way
like a
to get
crate.
the exact pieces that fit in this box every single time. And every time I go out with Brandon, he's like, I got a couple boxes of that Utah wood. I was like, yeah, let's burn those fucking Mormon woods.
well, what I like to do with it is I like to get because I'm always banking on either the wood I have or someone bringing wood that's wet.
Yeah.
If it was seasoned, cool, but it probably got wet or I don't know, man. You just
Dude,
your
the
fucking
wood from
firewood
the-
gets
always wet.
Gets wet in Alaska. That's like I don't care if you got good wood. So you can at least get your fire started with this really dry boxed wood, and then you can add to it. Sure. And or you can save it to start your fires every day. Or if you're trying to just cook food on it, it's like dry and clean, bug free. But it's pretty cool. You can pull it out of the box, and then in the bottom is like the little thin strips that you can take a hatchet and just kind of cut up kindling and get the fire started. But it's pretty sweet. And it's cardboard box, so you can use that as well. But
As the starter.
as the starter. Yeah.
They really thought it out. And the coolest thing is that thing is exactly a box. Like, about 8 inches tall by 2 feet.
24, by...
So you can pack it exactly where you want it to go. If you know you're going on your boat or you're going on the 4-wheeler, it'll fit exactly. You can fit 2 or 3 right there, so it's good to go.
And it's not getting like debris in your boat. Like I'm pretty OCD, so when you hey, I got a truck full of wood we're gonna throw in your boat, I'm like, whoa, let's put a tarp down, stack it in here, wrap it up. I'm like, I can't be getting all this like debris and getting in my fucking bilge pump and shit. I gotta make sure it's
You gotta do the courtesy tap as you get in the boat.
whoa. Kick your boots off. But you gotta keep it clean.
It makes the day home after boat trips suck. Getting all that shit out.
Can you order a pallet of that wood? I wonder.
I looked into it.
Well, how about the comparison of the bundle of wood that sucks at Mapco
Yeah.
versus that boxwood?
Yeah,
About reasonably the same price?
Yeah, it's like $8 a box.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's good.
No, it is
Yeah, but
really
I
good.
mean, it's like, but again, you just need to take like 1 or 2 with you with your other wood.
Yeah,
and then
just to fill in.
you got it.
Yep.
Do you have to show your Mormon card?
I haven't had to yet, but no, I looked into the pallet thing, but you got to be like a
Podcast?
like a commercial vendor to purchase it like that bulk.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want a pallet sent to my house. It's been stocked up for like 3 years.
That's right.
Yeah, I got shot down.
I want to go back to AKPipes.
What's up with that, bro?
Well, actually, you would think I could have changed it by now, but back in a long time ago, we would played fantasy hockey.
Oh,
And they're like, "Hey Trey, you can play." I'm like, "I don't know why would I do that?" Well, just put in $50. Don't worry about it. So basically, what I did, and I look and I see everybody. They all have these cool names, whatever. And I'm like, whoa, what's pipes? Yeah, man, between the pipes. Yeah, that's me. I'm gonna be AKPipes.
Yeah.
So I know. I wish there was a better story, but I tell my kids it's because I have big guns and it's like,
There it is.
whatever. And it's just but it's. I just never went back and fixed it because that's too much effort.
Well, the funny thing is that like when you even go to like search, if you're gonna search someone on Instagram, you can either put what you think their username is, or you can put what their real name is, and hopefully it pops up.
Yeah.
But his real name is AKPipes too. So
It's mysterious. Like,
so like I'm like Trent. I'm like putting in Trent. I'm putting in Taylor. I was like, nothing's popping up. I keep forgetting what this guy's name is, and I got to go back and like find a picture he liked or a picture I liked of his to find out what his name is to see what Trent's doing this week, because Trent is a busy guy.
Try to
big
be.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, do you work? And I'm like, yeah, I just work on a different schedule. I mean, and so the history of like our businesses, we've been in business for like it's coming on 50 years next year.
50 years,
50,
Trent.
yeah.
Nice.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah. So, and I've been involved in the business for 30 something since 91 is when I was officially hired. Mm-hmm. I had been fired a couple times before that. that's a big joke. Because that was when I was just a kid. And then, so I was in 91, I was 21 and finished my baseball career and whatever. And my parents
Got out of college.
They're like, yeah, got out. It's college.
Get me out of here.
So they're like, my dad's like, you want to work for the business? I'm like, well, what? And then fast forward, running things. So, but I worked in every position in our business, and but it gives me the freedom. I worked a lot. I mean, people are like, you don't work. I'm like, I used to work 16, 18-hour days. I was our on call. If you called that number, you'd see me.
Yeah,
I would show up at your house at 2 a.m, sucking up your poop or your whatever, cleaning up.
Yeah.
That's what I did. And I was like, and my dad was like, oh, but son, you're getting paid overtime. I'm like, Dad, I had a day off in 40 days. You'd work your regular shift, go home, you'd get a call, you'd have to go out. So I've earned my stripes. So
Nice.
that justifies me not working as much, but
Sure.
I still believe that I put it. Isn't that the whole point though?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely,
Like,
Trent.
Yeah. And you end up knowing your business and the people so well that you can do what you want to do during the day.
We have guys who worked for me for me 20 years. That not my parents. And there's guys who worked for my parents. So we work really hard. I was embedded into me is to take care of your people because they'll take care of you. And yeah, you can do everything, but you don't have to.
That's right.
And if you pay people a little bit more to stick around so you don't have to, that's even better.
Yeah.
So they're doing better. I'm having more freedom. And they're really, these days, you're a phone call away, a text away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're always available, right?
Yeah, but I empower our guys, my people, pretty well, and they all know their boundaries of what to do. There's been several guys who've worked for me who said, do you know how many people say, are you Mr. Taylor? And they're like, well, why is that? They're like, because you act like you know what you're doing and you can do whatever you want. And they're like, well, I kind of can.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I did that job about 18 years ago, right? Like you did what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's.
Well, I think that makes a good business owner where you've done every single part of your business.
Yep.
Like this isn't the first time I'm telling you to show you how to do this, because guess what? I have cut 10,000 pounds of onions, or I have made, 50 million cans of cider. Mm-hmm. So now it's your turn because guess what? I want to go fishing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. My wife said the coolest thing about that, and she calls it sweat equity. I don't know if anybody's heard that term before.
Yeah.
I at the time I didn't hear it, but that's when you say earn your stripes, that's what that means to me.
Yeah,
is that you put in the blood, sweat, and tears, put the equity in, and now you're withdrawing out of it because now you have that free time because you put in that hard work.
Yeah. So is there one
nothing wrong
guy?
with that.
Is there one guy that answers that call at night, or do you have a multiple of guys?
we rotate, but.
You rotate?
Yeah, there's an on-call staff for every office, and they rotate. But they're awesome because that is the hardest part of the job. And the carpenters make fun of the water techs, and I'm like, you're not getting called out at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
They are, and they're doing it with a smile on their face, and it's hard. Like I did it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Because I needed to. I had a young family, and I needed all the money I could get.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Back then, I was a junior. I wasn't making much,
Yeah.
so I made money by going out on. You can make more money going on calls, making overtime. Yeah. So I did it, and it is one of the harder. So I have the most respect for the water emergency guys or any emergency guys when they do that, because it's taken away from your family.
Yeah.
It's unplanned. You know, you can't be partying. So when you're on call, it's
like you're working.
Yeah.
And we pay them for that.
Yeah.
You know, and then they get an additional for going out, but it's a grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Absolutely. And you can't, it takes away from like your planning and getting
that's
you
right.
away for the summer. It just affects every aspect of your life. Yeah. Those guys are troopers.
Yeah.
And it's up to them to figure out a way to balance it, right?
Oh yeah.
The ones that still have a quality of life and that, you got to balance it out. You can't make it all work. You can't make it all play. You got to like find the even keel side. Yeah.
You guys have an on-call cider guy?
We do not.
I think you're looking at him.
all the guys actually are pretty much like on call on their own.
I'm fresh out, Tangy. I need another case.
Yeah.
Joe's on Abbott's dry. Get out there.
They're pretty damn good though about like the stuff in house. So like, because we've built everything automated, so we can see it online. We made our own HTML pages and stuff, so we can see like tank temperatures and stuff, and they'll get their ass in there on their own, their own initiative if they're the one that sees an issue. It's not like, the temperature in this tanker is going up, like someone gets in there and does it.
Oh, they're not like, I see a problem, I got to call this guy.
Yeah.
They see the problem, they know how to fix it themselves.
Yeah, they go
handle
in.
it.
Yeah. So everyone has that skill set, and everyone kind of has that same urgency and takes initiative, which I'm really fortunate. It's, you treat your people right. You make sure they're all trained. They all have the right skills.
Yep.
They all have that same urgency. And then they have pride in what they do. And when people aren't showing up and they're making that phone call, like something's wrong. Like it's like, okay, what's changed in the last couple months? Let's have a talk.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about before we started the recording on how difficult it is as any business owner to, in this last couple of years, to just have people that are showing up every day to work. I mean, obviously Tailored Restoration has come across the same problem, right?
Yeah, I think, looking back, and I think we're very grateful that actually we were considered an essential business and we didn't have to close.
Right.
So if we would have shut down, I think I would have not got people back, because as people see, even people with good jobs, they didn't go back. They went somewhere else, found a better opportunity, more money, and we're kind of a niche trade. So like we spend a lot of money training our people. You can't just go out and find another restoration technician.
Yeah.
Like there's not guys just floating around. You might find a carpenter, but even then, we've been advertising for carpenters for a year and a half, 2 years, and I think we've hired one. And that's, we're offering, we'll just say, come, what do you want?
Yeah.
And
what's it going to take to have you on board?
Yeah, because we'll say, we'll try you. And if not, they never show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely tough times. We saw it coming last year, and we slowed down in production, and we could only produce so much, so we kind of right-sized. And it's now, last year where we struggled more, we're doing the same amount of work, but we're actually making more money because we didn't have all this extra overhead, because we can't produce like we used to. So we recognized that and said, okay, instead of setting goals of doing this, let's just we know we can get this much done.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's really what we're doing. And I don't need to, set records. I just need to make a decent living, keep people employed.
Well, if you're a carpenter out there, holler at looking for somebody.
Yep.
We're seeing that big time on the farms right now. It's like
anywhere.
Yeah, it's over the last 3 months. I don't know how many people showed up for one day, didn't show up at all, committed, you didn't even hear back from them.
Yep.
It's
across the board,
insane.
even in the Anchor School District. I mean, we got the gym teachers and the music teachers teaching 2nd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, because people are just not working.
You mean like Jack Black?
Yeah.
That's
exactly right. Dude.
School of Rock, baby.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. I don't know. Everyone just retired. I don't know. I can't retire yet.
Yeah, not even close, right?
When's that going to change?
That's what I mean. They keep saying, like, I kept hearing, like, oh, okay, well, once the government money stops, then the people are going to get back to work, and then once this happens, it's going to get back to work. But it's like, that's already happened.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand where all these people are at.
Josh over at Serrano's has that awesome Serrano's food truck. It's just sitting there. He can't staff it.
Yep.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, that's insane.
People are still eating.
Yeah, people are still eating. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
I don't get it. I mean, I think it's just going to be a slow adjustment back to, I don't know if it's really going to be back to where it was maybe 5-10 years ago.
I think we need a new mindset. We need to get some younger people in that like have a different mindset. Like, hey, actually, I want to do some cool shit. I want to make some money. I want to do something with my life instead of just kind of like, oh, this weekend I'm going to Austin City Limits, but not on my parents' money, just whatever with the government money, whatever they're doing, and like actually show up at fucking work.
Yeah. Well, I think a positive side of it is people have actually found a value to their time and a value to them leaving their home to go do whatever job it is. And they've decided like, this is not valued to me to go teach this or to go be a tech or a carpenter or a cider guy. And so they're maybe waiting to decide on what they want to do or start their own business or something like that, which is, that's just maybe my opinion on what I think. Like there's a lot of young people that are in their 20s that realize, you know what, maybe it's not the move to go work for this other company and work your way up and work your way to be vested and all that, you know, where that's might be the old school way.
Yeah.
And they're thinking like, maybe I can do something better, and they want to be innovative and start their own thing, which is like, which is power to them. But a lot of that comes with experience of actually going and putting in the hours and putting into work. Like you don't just start being the boss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to actually be the guy on call for 10 years. You got to actually be the guy cutting the onions, the guy that's at the cidery for however long before you get there. You don't just be the boss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's 10, 20 years of work that you got to do before you can say that I know what I'm talking about with all this stuff. You know, it doesn't just happen.
You're right. I hope you're right, because that is like the best half. You know, that's the glass is full. You know, not even half full kind of response, and I love it. I hope you're fucking right.
Well, I hope so, but all of them, that's not going to be correct for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, talking to my brother, like he's a plumber, and he's the youngest plumber, and he's about to be 40 in the state. Yeah. There's like no plumbers. It's like, he's like, we'll hire anyone. If you want to be a plumber right now, you can go and just start making $50, $60 an hour right now. Like you don't have to be a YouTuber. You can go be a plumber, and guess what? You can still YouTube afterwards. And still have a house and a car and a truck and a sled and a trailer and a cabin and all that stuff. Like there's so many trades that need people. Like all these trades are just lacking youth.
Yeah.
So if you're a young person listening to this, like,
get after it.
Get after it, man. There's like money to be made. IBEW is hiring like crazy right now. You know, I was talking to the Peters brothers, like now's the time. You know, my dad forced me to go to IBEW interview when I was like 18.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was. He's like, this is what you want to do. And I was like, well, I don't think this is what I want to do. He's like, this is what you want to do. And I go and I'm in this room with like 6 guys at a table, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. And luckily I didn't like be that. I mean, but now thinking back, like if I was that, I'd probably be in a better position than I am now.
You'd be killing it. Yeah.
I'd be retired. I'd be retired right now. And he knew that, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like as our kids are growing up, you know, and you see, you know, my kids are on YouTube and looking at things, and they want to be this and that. And I was like, you know what? You got to start off working hard. You know what I'm saying? That work ethic is number one. Because you don't have that work ethic, you're not going to make it no matter what you want to do. Even these guys that are famous YouTubers, guess what? There's hours and hours and hours of editing to make that stupid 8-minute video that you saw. You know, so smash that like button, subscribe, Alaska,
smash it.
You know, that doesn't come just by saying it. You know, it takes a little bit of work.
Yeah, no, there was some hard work that was put into it.
Yeah.
You know, time and effort and thought. It didn't just come to you. The thing that you know, like what you were talking about, like the ones that are like, well, I'm still figuring it out. Well, who's paying for your fucking cell phone bill? Because last I checked, they're not cheap.
Yeah.
Or your rent.
Yeah.
Or your Taco Bell every other night. Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, where's this?
I don't know, dude. I agree with you completely, because when I was the only time in my life I felt poor was in college. And, no cell phone, ramen noodles, had to win fucking darts to get beer, and these motherfuckers are going to Austin City Limits.
Yeah.
Well, let's be fair. Like my 2 daughters are doctors now, so
I'm not talking about.
So they're going to that.
I'm not
okay.
I was just kind of kidding about.
There's people like I buy chicken legs in the 24 pack, so because that's what you could afford.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
Like, but that's how you lived. We lived on a budget.
Yeah.
Well, I think you gain a lot of like life equity by going through that struggle of being poor, not being able to eat what you want to eat, by having to have top ramen. You can't go to this concert, you can't go to this show because you can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know, and that
Yeah.
actually builds a character and that builds work ethic within you, where eventually, once you decide on this business that you want to do, it just advances your thought on how to do this and your ability to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want it bad enough, you have to earn it.
Yeah.
So Trent, my joke about Austin Center Limits was because a couple weeks ago in the cidery, there were some of these kind of younger people that didn't have jobs,
and they're going to that.
Just put a van on a bus or a van on a barge, because we had another guy in the cidery who actually has a job doing the same thing, going down to Austin City Limits, and I was like, oh, how are you guys paying for this? You know,
And they're like, oh. So I thought you were here when we were conversation because I'm going to Austin City.
Yeah, I was here for that.
So,
so-
like, you were here.
yeah,
He wasn't here when we talked about that. Or no, when we just started.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
that's right.
no, that wasn't a attack
That's all right.
on you for sure.
No,
Well, I mean,
so-
I'm all for like young 20-year-olds. Go experience that. Go have fun.
Oh,
you know what I'm
for sure,
saying?
of
Go
course, yeah.
go to Spring Break '98.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Panama City.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stage myself.
That was a funny story. Oh, man, that was a good
That
one.
was a good story. Yeah, but get a job too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I
Be
agree.
a plumber.
It's very tough to find people with work ethic, and even like you said, now the employees that you get, I'm scared to like push them because then I might quit.
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
I'm I have a business coach, and I'm like, man, am I just outdated? Like,
Yeah.
or my expectations are too high, and all these people who like want to work from home, and I'm like, should I let them? Is this just the new way it is? I have to be more flexible, and I'm
Open-minded,
pretty
yeah.
flexible, but you know, sometimes it's like, oh, you know, when somebody says, oh, I'm having a mental break. I need to work from home for 3 weeks. I'm just like, okay. And, you know, I wrap my head around and I say,
Yeah,
okay. And they're like, okay, but it's not going to happen for 3 weeks because I'm planning then. I'm like, I thought you were having a mental breakdown. Isn't that like right now? Like, are you planning to have
It's
one?
like an urgent matter, I thought.
But yeah, exactly. You know, like, and I'm like,
It's not scheduled, Brandon.
Oh, okay.
but that I know. It's just like,
Yeah.
and I have to say, okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to lose them. I can't
Yeah.
afford to lose anybody.
The thing
Well,
I
you
say
care
most
about him too. I mean,
Yeah, I do.
yeah.
frequently is don't get burned out.
Mm-hmm.
If you are getting to a point where you feel like you're burned out, let's have a talk.
Yep.
Because it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to lose good
Yeah,
people,
don't tip it
and I
over.
want to keep them happy at work. I want to keep positive attitude.
That's I say, hey, if you ever get to the point where you're ready to quit, come see me first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you get to that
Yeah.
line where you're about
totally.
to jump off and be
Because
like,
we can
"Fuck this
change
place."
it. We can
Yeah.
fix it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I had that happen on Friday. Someone that scheduled a meeting with me came in and they're just done. And it wasn't at the cidery, it was at our downtown location. But I was just like, man, we could have been talking about this. And you lose out on all these other opportunities too.
Yeah.
Because when people are getting frustrated, there's so many opportunities to learn that can benefit everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And so I felt like a huge failure on that because we didn't learn. We didn't take that first. That person shouldn't felt the way that they felt, and second, we missed out on an opportunity not only to fix it for him but everyone else.
Yeah.
And there's no other. Now that he's going to be gone, there's not going to have that same urgency to fix that issue. Mm-hmm. I just see that as a total bummer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough walking that line. You know what I'm saying? Of like being a boss or you know what I'm saying, an owner of a business that's trying to give someone an opportunity, but you don't want them to leave. It's like a tightrope,
Yeah.
you know?
All right. Enough about work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough of that. Yeah.
I'm like,
I want
this is what gives me a headache. But when you were saying something about Carlo, and it's so funny, like how you just have to pay attention to who you're talking to, who you know. I don't remember if I texted you or something, but we were fishing on the Kenai and we have our spot set up. There's a bunch of this guy on a camp was pulling out, and it's like where we were fishing, and this other boat comes in. Hey, are you guys done leaving? I'm like, yeah, but we're fishing. He's like, I don't care. I just want to camp. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I'm like, it's Johnny who works with Carlo.
Oh, Johnny B.
Yeah. I'm like, and he's like, oh, you guys anything? And we start talking. He's like, yo, you know Daniel? Oh, yeah. And I'm like, guy we know. So he held the fishing hole for us all weekend in the middle of red season. Like,
oh man.
So like, if I would have, but if I would have, get out of here.
Yeah, this is my
territorial.
And I was like, go ahead, man. I'm not camping here. I'm just fishing here. And he's like, come back tomorrow whenever you want.
Johnny's such a good guy.
Oh, he still texts me pictures every once in a while of like moose and fish. He goes, oh, Carlo caught this rainbow. He's a cool dude.
Johnny saved me on I should have called Taylor, but Johnny came through on a water deal at my house, dude. Christmas, no one's around. Dude. Literally like Christmas Eve. Yeah. And Carlos like, I'm in Greece. Call Johnny. You know what I'm saying? I called Johnny. I'm like, man, I gotta call this guy, man. He's like, I'll be there in an hour. Yeah. Dude. What a guy, dude.
He's a good dude.
And he hasn't even called back like the favor, dude. I'm like, whatever you want, dude. Yeah. Like, you just call me and say, hey, I need to move. Whatever, dude. Anything you need, man. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
I'll bring my kids and we're gonna go
40 hot dogs stat.
Dude, you got it, dude. Whatever, dude. You got your son's wedding or whoever, dude. Just let me know, dude. 2 a.m. I'm gonna be there with the hot dogs.
I'm surprised Carlo didn't say just to YouTube it.
He did.
No, he did. He's like, hey, I can't help you, but get on YouTube.
Yeah, that's actually he said that to Sworn to Secrecy last night, dude. Sworn, he's like over here telling him on this guy on our hockey team, and he's telling him about some water problem. He's like, well, did you YouTube it? He's like, well, yeah, you told me to YouTube it, but I didn't know. He's like, well, I'll just send you a picture of what you need and just YouTube it, and you'll be good.
That's awesome.
He's like, I'm so busy. Well, let's take a quick break. Sorry. Serrano's Mexican Grill. Since 2008, Serrano's is Anchorage's own generation of old cocina. Their menu showcases the passion and love of their rich heritage and unique family recipes that have been passed down through generations. Serrano's goal is to embrace and display traditional flavors using the best ingredients that are available. They focus on making everything from scratch daily. In-house menus include handcrafted corn tortillas, serrano salsas, carne asada, marinades, and chorizo. But don't take their word for it. Experience the tradition and sabor for yourself. Location on Tudor and Northern Lights. They got the tequila bar at Northern Lights. Check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
Having a leak in the middle of the night? Call Taylor Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Burst pipes, overflowing toilets, downed trees, fires, pet accidents, and vandalism. Taylor has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time of day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks, or hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
You made it, Jack. You made it.
I got Trent right in front of me.
The pressure was not on at all.
That was my one failure all year.
What you know about that treehouse over there, though, Trent?
I might know something about that place.
Yeah, you went and checked it out?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a nice shop, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day because, honestly, there's always something good on deck. And, guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com. You must be 21 years of age to enter the store. So, Jack will be back in a minute. I want to make sure we stay on track for that
Trivia? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
'cause we've
been
been
a,
slipping
it's
on
been
the
a while
trivia.
for the
Yeah.
trivia. Actually, let me pull up that sweet trivia music.
So Trent,
that
you follow and listen to majority of the podcasts. I'm
I've
sure
listened to probably 80% of them. So
Okay, so you realize our trivia game is pretty weak.
Yeah, you guys don't
No,
get
I
many
mean,
right.
Here's the tri- no,
That's what I know.
So here's the beauty of it. Jack's trivia questions are awesome.
I
Our
know.
Trivia answers
Are not
horrible.
Yes, I agree.
And we're all lifelong raised like blue blood Alaskans.
Yeah. No,
And you'd
I-
think we'd know like the acreage of, Wrangell, St. Elias.
Dude, and I pride myself on knowing Alaska history, and I took so many Alaska history classes, and all I read is history things and pioneer
Books
stuff. And dude, I just too much treehouse, man. I can't absorb all this
maybe
information.
maybe it's stage fright.
Maybe. Oh, maybe that's what it is. That's what it is.
I don't
All the
know,
bright lights in
man.
here. Are getting me.
Yeah, that's it for sure. That's it.
The crowd of 3 for you.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. There's like so much shit you do know that like who cares? And then there's like the stuff that like you don't know how tall this mountain is. Like, no, I don't know. Or how long a river is. I don't know.
I agree that I'm a skim reader, and I like I kind of talk. I don't get into the nitty gritty of stuff. I understand. Yeah, I've been there. I know where it's at, and I listen to the trivia too, and I would struggle.
Yeah, I mean,
struggle.
I don't know.
It's not like
Well, we're gonna see how hard you struggle here.
okay. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Now he's gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, okay.
All right. Well, when Trent's gone, I'm gonna give these guys a couple of easy ones just to warm them up.
Okay, I'm
Well,
done.
Trent, around here, you got to earn that hoodie. You know what I mean? So
All
let's
right.
see what you got.
All right.
So we do have a reward tonight, a prize. We're doing local greens. So this was harvested today from our hydroponic farms. And
Spicy greens, huh?
Yeah, this is spicy. So it's 7 different lettuces and then some mustard greens and some wasabi arugula in that.
That's actually my favorite thing you guys produce.
Yeah, you can eat it right out of the bag. You don't need any.
Is that what makes it spicy? Is that wasabi arugula?
And the mustard greens.
Oh, has that like hot, like on the back of your throat, like
Oh, it's just like a wasabi hot front,
Yeah.
love me some
hot
wasabi.
right up front, and then the mustard greens is more of like the hot mustards that you get.
You guys
Gives it a
ever
little
see
tart.
that? What's that MTV show or the
Spring Break '98.
No. The guys did
Jackass?
Jackass.
Oh,
where
yeah,
he,
Jackass.
He snorted the wasabi.
Oh man,
Every time I hear the word wasabi, I think about like what it would actually be like
Not good.
to put that in your nasal cavity.
Oh
Like,
my god, dude!
It's got to
Let's
be
clear the
just,
COVID right out.
Just clear everything out.
all right. I got,
Actually, before you start that, a quick hot tip with that spicy greens at Costco. They sell the pre-cooked chicken packages. That's like, I want to say it's 12 of them, and they come individually
strips?
packaged. No, it's little like chicken breasts, cut up pieces that are already pre-cooked, ready
Yeah.
to go. And there's like a 12 pack, and they're individually packaged, so it's just a perfect amount. You can just get that, dude. I eat that
sprinkle it
every
on that?
single time after hockey. I will just come home, just put a whole bowl of that. I put the chicken on top, and just like put lime and lemon and salt and pepper, dude, and just love it, dude. That pre-cooked chicken from Costco that comes in those packages.
Yeah.
It's almost like a not a Ziploc, but like a little package where you just snap it plastic, and it has its own individual ready to go.
Like diced up cubed style.
No, it's not
chicken or
cubed.
something?
It's like really good strip, like you'd get at
okay.
like on a chicken, like on a Cobb salad or any kind of thing. It's just
There you go.
money,
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. You didn't put no blue cheese on it?
No, I'm not on white sauce.
I guess
problem with white
we'll
sauce.
just continue the update on the local greens. So right now we have 75 subscriptions. We can do 150 year round. So
50%.
you can come get your greens weekly or bi-weekly. And you can pick lettuces, the spicy green mix, kale, basil, a few other things that we make every once in a while. We grow every once in a while, like Swiss chard. But as soon as those are filled, there won't be any more available. So if you want year-round greens, come get them. You can sign up online. Local Greens Alaska.
Oh, so there's a cap.
75 available.
Yeah, there's a cap.
Once you get
'cause
to
we can only
150,
grow
that's
so
it.
much.
Oh.
So yeah, we're trying to get, and it's all for the community. This isn't really to.
Yeah, now's the time. You pretty much ate all your garden stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Or harvested everything you could.
yeah.
All right.
Good to know, Jack. I'm on it.
So we're winning this spicy greens.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
We're
I
winning.
want it. I
Winning
want
the
it.
spicy greens. All right. Alaska has a thriving population of bees. How many species of bumblebees do we have in Alaska? And second part is, how many of those species are only exclusive to Alaska?
So hold on. Species of
bumblebees.
Okay. All
So
right.
natural bees to Alaska, not the ones that they bring up, like honeybees and stuff. And we're not talking about wasps. We're talking about bumblebees, like the ones that we see on top of it. There we go.
I haven't heard that for a while.
I'm gonna go with
Spicy.
Four species in Alaska.
of bumblebees.
And how many are exclusive to Alaska?
I'm gonna say 1.
One. Remember that bumblebee we saw on the top of the mountain?
Oh, I have a good video of that.
Oh, dude, man.
That was crazy, dude. At like 5,000 feet, there's this bee up
Just
there.
one random bee.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
those flowers that are the size of like a pen tip. And they're
Just
pollinating all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I
That's
saw
cool.
a bumblebee on a Clutina Lakeside Trail this weekend.
Nice. What a
Bumblebee,
badass.
I'm a bumblebee. I'm a bee.
Good old Roger, man. It was Roger, right?
It was Roger, dude. He called
Daniel's-
my Can-Am as a yellow. My Can-Am's
Oh,
yellow.
yeah.
And we were having like a at Camp 360 one night. We did a boys trip, and we were having a rap fest. And at 3 a.m, hammered. And all he could come
two-way
with,
rap battle.
all he could, yeah. And all he could come
got
up with
this on
is like,
video, by
I'm
the
a
way.
bee, I'm a bee, I'm a bumblebee, I'm a bee. Just talking about that. It wasn't his best.
That's funny.
But your four-wheeler does look kind of like bumblebee-ish.
Fire. I'm
Looks like a transformer bumblebee type thing going on. Bumblebee species, I'm going to say 3.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 are, the OGs. Trent, what you got?
I'm going to go the over. I'm going to say probably 8 and 3.
Nice.
So we have 22 species in Alaska.
Whoa.
And 4 of them are exclusive to Alaska.
Oof.
So I sucked.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a big place.
Trent won.
It is a
Yeah.
big place.
Trent's winning.
Congratulations, Trent.
4.
This is like I'm taking down
I
the
see what happened.
champions.
Before you came in,
studied up.
you skim read about bumblebees in Alaska. I was like, you got all the meat and potatoes off of it.
All right.
Wait, 22, you said?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. That's crazy.
We're a big state. We're a big
Yeah,
state.
I guess
know,
you,
man.
Yeah, because if you think about Southeast, all the different areas where
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
Different
You're
climates.
right.
And then you have all the stuff in the interior between the Alaska range and the Brooks range, and then you got north of Brooks range. It's a big space.
I wonder what.
I was surprised when I found that information.
How many in general different bumblebees are there?
Uh,
Worldwide, hundreds?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
You would think. We can break that one out, but I've tried to keep it exclusive to Alaska
Yeah.
trivia.
he's just making all this shit up right now. Anyhow,
I just look at
nobody's gonna call him out. Oh, really?
He must be right.
no, it's 9,000. Yeah. All right. So they're rare, but there's been 4 sea turtle species found in Alaska. Can you guys name any of the species?
Dude, man, where you come up with this shit, dude?
I got a new source. It's a good source.
4 species of turtles have been found in Alaska.
Sea turtles,
Sea turtles.
which I didn't even know we had sea turtles.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, how is the water even warm enough that they can even survive?
I'm telling you.
I mean, they got to be coming north for some reason.
I don't know what they're called though. I mean,
Tortuga?
hard shell, a hard shell turtle.
There you go. That's your guess.
I don't even know.
Man, I actually
What's
do
that
know.
sea turtle from Nemo called? Crush.
Crush. Brah. Hey, brah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, bruh, he's a surfer, bro.
It's like, I'll let the little guy go over there. Don't worry about him. He's going to make it back.
So first off, there are sea turtles in Alaska?
4.
4 of them?
Yep. They're rare, and they've
I'm
only
gonna
been
say
spotted here.
Spotted. I'm gonna say the rare southeast.
Snapping turtle.
I'm gonna go with Argentinian turtle.
Oh,
I don't know why.
okay.
But fun fact, like back in the day in the 1800s and stuff like that, when they were exploring the Americas and stuff like that, they would have live turtles and they'd put them in their below the decks and keep them in water and keep them alive, and they would feed on those so they would have fresh meat as they would go on. They go on these expeditions that were months and years long, and so they would bring along turtles because they could feed them fairly easily, and keep them in the hold, and then they'd have fresh meat.
That's pretty cool.
It's been big turtles to harvest meat off of them.
Yeah.
Listen,
The Argentinian turtles were big.
Argentina. How about those Aleutian chain turtles? That's my answer.
Ooh,
yeah.
There you go.
All right.
They're salty.
So they're only one. I guess two of these. So there's the green, the leatherback.
Leatherbacks are the huge ones.
Yeah.
The loggerhead, which I've never heard of.
That one too.
And then the olive ridley.
Oh, the loggerhead.
I knew none of that.
Yeah.
What? So they had to be they'd be introduced, right?
No, they've just been
lost.
spotted here.
I think they're lost.
Yeah.
Oh, like they were.
They're probably migrated
It's
north.
like the cougar in whatever Delta and Nebezna. There's
Okay.
like two cougars that people see.
I mean, wouldn't that have to be like a turtle caught like a warm tide of
Something.
like just following warm water that circulated up, and all of a sudden he's dinking around up here in Alaska.
Chilling somewhere he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Or it's
interesting.
getting warmer.
Yeah, as there are changes in waters and things move.
That's true. Didn't somebody catch like a tuna in southeast or something like that? Or
Well, they're saying
In
there's mule deer and stuff coming up, right?
oh, those they're in the regulations now. I think we talked about that before.
In the southeast.
Yeah, there are no regulations in terms of like management of mule deer or whitetails, but they're saying if you do harvest a whitetail or a mule deer in Alaska, to please report it, to please let the authorities know, so that they're aware of it. And if you look in the regulations this year in 2021,
They have mule deer.
they actually have a page that says deer in Alaska, and it breaks down obviously blacktail that have been here forever, but it actually breaks down mule deer, where they've been sighted, information on them, whitetail. There's information on deer for the first time ever in a Alaska fishing game regulation book this year. So find it. Everybody's probably got a copy laying in the garage or in an action packer or in a boat or something.
Well, I always wondered how long until those Sitka black-tailed deer are on Hillside in Anchorage.
Yeah.
They're coming up over, out of Whittier, coming this way.
Yeah. They spotted them in Potter's Marsh 15 years ago. I think it's just the harsh winter knocks them out. What they need to do is make it over to Homer, where the winters aren't as
and
bad.
those Caribou Hills and
then they could probably populate there. But they're not. It's the same thing with the pheasant release that they did. Whatever was it, the 70s up in Hatcher's Pass. They put them in a spot that the snow load was too heavy for pheasants. If they would have put all those and released them down in Homer, there would be a much better chance for them to a successful release.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see all that. You walk through Kodiak or the Sound on a bad snow year or a year where you had a big heavy snow load and then a freeze thaw cycle and then another heavy snow with the freeze thaw cycle, and you'll find these little ravines that are close to the water with 100, 200 skeletons in them that they can't make it through that snow like a moose can.
Yeah.
And so I don't see him, surviving in around Anchorage. We just don't have that type of moderate winter.
Well, it's getting that way, I think, though. I mean, if you think about back when we were little, I mean, the snow was way deeper, way thicker, way
Snow
taller.
before Halloween every year.
Yeah.
But we've also got heavy predation. We've got a lot of bears and coyotes, and I mean, you get outside up on the hills, and there's everything up there.
That's true.
Bears, wolves, coyotes, fox. I mean, they're thick. They're just. Let's just say they've got a lot working against them to mortality wise to survive, let alone the winter, the dark, the cold, big storms.
But as
snow.
things change and as we've seen as a lifetime living in Alaska, we're getting way less snow.
Right.
in Anchorage,
definitely.
in the
Yes.
South Central Bowl here than we have ever.
That's totally true. I think the outside of snow, the other big factor they have against them, other than predators, is that like in Kodiak, in the Sound, they have access to a lot of nutrients on the water line, where in Cook Inlet we have mud flats.
Great point.
If we had a deep water bay here with a lot of nutrients, absolutely, I think they could do it. They could stay but where's their food source going to come from
Once they come
when the snow's here? Like they still got to eat like off tree bark.
Yeah.
Then you're like
they're
going
not
up against the snow where
6 foot tall
they
moose.
right now they in the Sound and these places they have access to all this algae and stuff.
Kelp on the beach.
Kelp.
Well, that's a good point. We pick our deer when we're going deer hunting around the tides, like the best tides.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Where do you deer hunt? Deer
Can you
Island?
show us on the map?
Upper Huffman.
Upper Huffman.
He does listen.
That's right. I forget there's blacktail.
There's blacktail.
It's a damn good spot.
It just has everything.
That's funny.
We need to make that Upper Huffman T-shirt.
Yeah,
It's all the species.
Just everything. You can even catch
North
halibut
America
up there.
Grand Slam.
So I found something real quick on the bumblebee game. There's 255 species internationally.
total.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. So
damn. So we have 10% of them here.
that's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Our seasons are crazy.
We live in a cool place.
Yeah, that's true.
One thing I noticed when we were looking at that one on the sheep hunt, it wasn't flying. It barely flew.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't. It was just crawling all over to like.
It
the
didn't
next,
have a lot of
wasn't like
energy.
zzz, going to the
Yeah,
next one.
yeah.
Zzz, zzz,
Yep.
zzz, zzz. It was just like. It was just more like a spider. It was just going around and just checking every possible place where it could get some nectar.
It's probably conserving energy.
That's also at the place that I walked up to and you were yelling at me. And I was like, hey.
Oh, when there's like 80-mile-an-hour wind
Yeah, it
coming.
was just that one little saddle.
Do you see anything over there?
I walked around the corner. It's like, well, if we move 15 feet, it is not bad.
There's sheep like 10 miles away. Like
Yeah.
listening to you
Speaking
yell.
of that, I'm in full edit of the sheep video. I'm assuming it's probably gonna be ready about November. At the pace I'm going, not editing this thing. So be on the lookout for that sheep hunting experience on the 2021. There's
Nice.
some really good footage
Nice.
of that, and actually, I got some good footage of that bee there too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, we talk about the best trips. It's like, it's not the roller coaster. It's like the struggle. And a year later, you're like, man, that was the best trip ever. It's only been like 6 weeks,
Yeah.
maybe almost
longer than
almost
that.
8 weeks, I guess. And it's already like, oh man, I want to go back.
Can't wait.
I'm ready.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
If I had the 2022 calendar out, I'd already put the dates up.
All right. So
Well,
I got
you
one more
gotta
question.
wait for those permits to come out first. You know what I mean?
So there's a town in Alaska that has the most taxis per capita. So
Ooh.
2 parts. What is the town and how many cabs per people?
I'm gonna go with Juneau, and I'm gonna say 70.
Juneau and 70.
So 1 cab every 70 people.
I thought you were saying total cabs.
No. How many cabs per people? So,
Okay, I'm gonna say 1 to 7.
okay. So every 7 people, there's a cab.
There's not that many people in Juneau.
There's a lot of politicians that need to
I think that's the third most populated city in the state.
Have you been to Juneau?
No, but no, yes, I have. But it's
Juneau?
Hey, my answer could be wrong.
no. I mean, it probably is, but it's, I'm just thinking to myself in terms of like it's Anchorage, Fairbanks, Juneau, right? And
Yeah.
I think
No,
like
there's
city
a lot more
population.
cities. I think I got Juneau right. Maybe the 1 to 7's off.
If I was like the supervising plumber, I would go to this cab company in Juneau and ask if anyone wanted to be a plumber.
I'm gonna say Nome.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Nome. I have a little bit of background with cabs in Nome. Is it Nome or Bethel? think it's gnome. And what was the second part?
How many cabs per people?
How many cabs per people? That's a tough one. I don't even know the population.
1 to 7. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's a lot of cabs.
So every
70?
seventh person that would come with a hot dog stand would be a cab driver.
Just looking
You
for
gotta know
somebody
your
to give a
cab
ride.
facts.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way.
Gnome and 0.3 cabs per person. Is that even right answer?
0.3, so that would be 1 cab every 3 people.
One cab. No, that's too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should say total. You can't know the total.
Your question's kind of confusing.
Name how many people for every cab.
How many people for? Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say. Can I
100
switch
to
my
1.
answer?
100 to 1.
Can't switch.
That's
100 people
that's
to-
a way better guess.
Yeah, 100 people to every
than
one cab.
0.3.
Okay. Yeah. I got my math messed
Yeah.
up. Forgive me, listeners.
All right,
Trent, wait, Trent, put your.
Trent,
I
do you
think
got
I may have
anything
No,
on
no,
this?
time out,
this
time
too
out.
much.
Trent has a calculator out.
No,
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go. It's
wants a
probably
spicy
wrong.
greens.
I'm just going for low population because, and I
That's why I
think
threw out
there's a
Nome.
cab there. I'm just not sure. I'm thinking Whittier, and maybe like 20 to 1. I'm just going because there's maybe only 1,000 people there.
Yeah,
it might
that's
be
a
5
damn
cabs.
good guess. Brandon, you were the closest.
See, I almost said.
All right.
So it is Bethel.
Fuck! I almost said
Ah,
that.
But
man.
I bet
See,
Nome
I-
is right there. You know, I
Yeah.
don't know the Nome stats. I don't have all the towns. I wish I did right now because that would be even cooler. But I did not anticipate that, and I actually don't think that I could find that information. But I could make it up real easy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just believe it. I mean,
And then
we're
there's
all dumbasses anyway.
There's 85. So 70. You know, you did 100.
Yeah.
Right?
100 to 1.
Yeah. No, wait, or you said
100
said 100
people
to
to
1.
1 cab.
yeah. So that's
And,
damn
okay,
close.
hold on. There's how many cabs in?
It doesn't say number. It's 1 cab for every 85 people.
Oh,
so
shit.
it
That
has.
was pretty close.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just wrong town.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I bet Nome and Bethel, in terms of like population, is
Pretty similar.
is it though? Well, okay, so
I think it probably depends
in
the
my
time of
in my
year.
adjusting days as an insurance adjuster, we had a lot of claims on cabs,
Oh.
and it might have been Bethel. I thought it was Nome.
I was gonna say Bethel, but when you said, I'm like, oh, they're gonna think I'm picking that.
Oh.
But Bethel, because there's no reason to have a car there. Like if you ever go there,
Yeah, I mean,
you
I've
don't want
been.
to walk across town when it's pouring rain or in the winter.
Well, it's just like long enough and
Yeah,
wide enough
right.
that you want to ride.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's not
yeah,
because Bethel's bigger than Nome, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So
because of the hospital, it's a major hub.
right, and there's like I think Bethel has like a light. I think it has like one flashing light. I think in the middle of town, if I remember right. I've been to Bethel twice.
A flashing yellow. That means nothing.
Or a flashing, yeah. It's like one thing in the middle of the city or town. It's a town. I don't want to quite call it a village because it's like big enough.
Yeah.
But I do remember a bunch of cabs running around. Like I do remember seeing them, and we had a lot of claims on them, which was really weird because
Is it all Uber drivers now?
they just
Can you
got the
be an
half
Uber
busted
driver on
Uber.
a 4-wheeler?
Probably
No?
not. Probably not.
No.
I mean, unless you're carrying all the insurance, right? Maybe a fully enclosed side-by-side with blinkers and a license plate registered.
Ooh, the 6x6
Maybe?
Can-Am Defender, maybe.
Yeah. Dude, so I guess, so a homie of a homie just went on a moose hunt, and then one of his homies had the 6x6 Defender, and this trail that they ran apparently is like, you got to pick and choose and go around all these holes. I guess that Defender just went,
Dude, the Defender
Straight.
is
Nice.
insane.
That's
Yeah.
the one you're getting?
No.
Ira has one of those.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
Ira
the
was showing
Defender's
us
the
this?
side-by-side
Yeah.
that's a 6x6 that's like bigger than my Tacoma.
Oh,
those
okay.
are
I think it literally has the same cargo space as your truck.
It does. It has a 6-foot bed.
That's the one that chived by Ira
The what? Yeah.
for
Yes.
being the most
Yes.
interesting man.
Yes. He has a 6-foot That one, dude, it's bad.
Fuck
ass, dude.
Wow.
He puts
Fully
his
enclosed.
I need to, let me text Ira so I can go moose hunting with him next year.
Dude, it's,
He'll be like, just throw it in the back.
yeah, it's a 6-foot bed. Like you can put a 4-wheeler in back of the 4-wheeler in back of the thing.
Awesome.
Dude. It's insane. But you can't get one.
That's got to beat
Trent,
the
your
trails
moose
up.
hunt, are you guys ATVing in or side by sides?
Most everybody has a side by side.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that's how you guys access your area. Okay.
Does
You
it
have
have
a
a
Defender?
heater closed in?
Side by side.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't because it get too hot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those machines just roll.
You get too hot more than you get too cold in a side by side, in my opinion.
Yeah, you do.
Between dust and heat and all
you
that.
get too hot? Get too hot?
It's getting hot in
My
here.
feet are sweating over here.
They have a fan in there. So it's so hot. Like,
Just turn the AC on, the cooled seats.
I bet some of them have AC.
because if you have glass,
Oh, absolutely
if
they
you have the
do.
enclosed glass, it does. You're cooking because that motor's right underneath you, and it's just
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we ran sorry, Jack. I was just gonna say we ran ATVs this weekend, and my side by side's wide open, and we were toasty.
yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
it was like 35.
yeah.
You know, it was. I mean, we were only going like 15 miles an hour, and that makes a huge difference. If you're bombing at 30 and they got the cold air coming in, it'd be a different story. But I mean, it was never cold. You know what I mean?
Bad.
Not
When
at
I was
all.
in the 4-wheeler, but
Yeah. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Jack?
Oh, just last year we were coming out of moose camp in the foot of snow, and my dad has a side by side, and you couldn't tell where the trails were as the alders were laying down, and he was like, "Well, I'll break it," and going up hills and shit, and the snow's just coming in, and he's getting hyperthermia and all this bullshit, and we get to the top of remember where you overlook those ponds? Mm-hmm. We ran into some really nice side by sides, kind of like what you're talking about. And the first guy, it was actually a Honda, and he like rolls his window down, and then there's like heat coming out, and he has windshield wipers. My dad doesn't have any of this shit. He kept on getting out to wipe the windshield, and there's like piles of snow on him. He's like, "Fuck, I need one of those things."
dude, they're getting crazy with those, dude. They are insane now. But it's $30,000, $40,000. Right?
Yeah.
40,
My
40,000.
4-wheeler was like $6,000.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. It still gets you there.
Honda last 20, 40.
Yeah.
Long time.
So Trent, when you guys harvested a moose this year,
We did.
were you able to ride it right up to it?
We did.
Nice.
And then the family I hunt with, like I said, I didn't hunt growing up because my parents were done.
Yeah, they had been there,
Killed
done that.
everything,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So I grew up fishing my whole life, and then there was a divorce in the family. I mean, it's like, hey, we have an open spot.
Yeah.
It takes like a divorce or a death.
Yeah,
to
no,
get
Yeah, like somebody's
And
got to
so-
retire or die to get in this motherfucker.
Yeah, and I had guys are good friends. And they unlike you guys, wouldn't figure some of the stuff out. Like Daniel, I was like, no, they teach me what kind of gun. I had a wheeler, this and that. So I just so I started with them moose hunting, and that was how it went. Had a good time, and I just sit back and wait. I don't even know why I brought a gun because I was like 5th or 6th on the list as far as shooter.
To shoot, yeah.
But still, it was fun, and
Yeah.
I had a good time, and I was able to shoot one a couple years ago, but point being is I have a great time every single time.
Yeah.
I was with the guys who shot it this year, and my kids are like, "You didn't get to shoot." I'm like, "It doesn't matter." It was part of the experience. All of us.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and then that kind of got me into other hunting, and I was telling you earlier, we pulled a sheep tag. I pulled a toque tag 2 years ago, and I was able to harvest one out of there, which was incredible experience. It's probably, like I said, if it was any easier, I'd be disappointed. If it was any harder, I wouldn't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because it's not like you're out here
just-
chasing them every year.
No, and
You did it
it's
for
just-
like at least a once in a life. Like I did this once.
I did it. I've done 2 sheep hunts. And
Okay.
they're awesome. But I do some triathlons and stuff, and people are like, "You're not a triathlete." I know. I know. I need to stay in shape. Like
That's
I need to have
Yeah.
a goal
A
it's
purpose
something
to
to
do
do.
this thing.
So I'm
Yeah.
not just sitting around not doing something.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's so I'm like, so I can hunt. I can hike. I'm just not fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah. Who's in a hurry, right?
Yeah, so I just hang out and do that, and then I was telling you I deer hunt with some guys.
Yeah.
It was funny. They're like, "Hey, can you go on this deer hunt?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm in Wisconsin doing a half Ironman." Like, well, when do you get back? And I'm like, in 3 weeks. Well, can you go? It'll be for a week. And I'm like, I should probably work. You know?
Yeah. I have a job still.
And I'm like, so I go back and I check in, and I have a general manager. I'm like, hey, Doug, I kind of got. He's like, yeah, go. So that got me going, and that was 4 or 5 years ago with these guys. And since then, it's our hunt. Like we filled the lodge. It's a little nicer. I've done all the tinning. I don't need to prove myself. I don't need to prove myself. I've got sweat equity.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I'm like, maybe I should spend some of this equity now.
Yeah.
You know, because I know we laugh, but I rode a wheeler forever.
Yeah.
I just upgraded to a side by side, and I'm like, what a dumbass! What took me so long? And I'm like, I'm just frugal. I'm like,
Well, you just didn't think you needed it.
I did. I didn't need it, and then now I'm like, this is awesome.
I've been needing this.
Yeah. So, you know, same thing with the boat. I'm like, I'm frugal. I had all these things. And I'm like, what? I have all this money in the bank or savings. I'm like, this is how I should be spending my money.
Yeah.
You know,
There you go. Yeah.
So we
Enjoy
do
it.
this lodge, and it's just us. And we go out in the morning. We hunt. They drop you off. There's outfitters. They drop you off. You go out and hunt for the day. Pick you up. Come back. They cook you a dinner. It's more like, you know, camp food, but that's all we need.
Oh, I mean,
know,
you're not
warm,
cooking
showers,
it. That's nice. Yeah.
play cards, music. There's football. I mean,
Perfect.
and then you go out and do it again the next day. And so it's awesome. It's a great deer hunt. And you have an opportunities for goat there too. So
Yeah.
I didn't get one during the deer hunt, but then one of the guys there is like, hey, I'll come back. And we literally he goes, it took 3 years for him to invite me. You know how he's like, he goes, I only do this for guys that I hunt with that I know. The first year I wasn't sure about you. Yeah.
Feeling you out?
We were a little wild. Like, well, you seen the video, like I said, of the deer backstrap, the whirly bird. They're like, you guys are nuts. And I'm like, we just like to have fun. But so he invited me. He's like, hey, come back here in March when the goats are low. Will you stay at my house? He has a house there. And so went back, and we got a couple goats. One was real easy, and one was not so easy.
Let's hear about that.
I want to
one.
hear about that goat.
So this is, you know, again.
That's this spring, right? 2021.
Yeah, and this other guy, and he's a little guy. Like, I'm not gonna. He's kind of like, hey, Trent, let's go. I want to go goat hunting. I'm like, no, you want me to carry your goat? I know this works. You know, like,
Yeah.
So we go out, and we're literally like, I'm sleeping in the guy's bed. Like this, I mean, it's awesome. That's how I like it. I don't need. We're family. They're the guy's friends. Like, anyway, so we go out. He's like, okay, we'll go out. We hunted. We landed that morning. Went out, and within 2 hours, we're on these goats, and my friend's using somebody else's rifle, and he's got glasses, and he's comparing, and they can't see. And he's usually a really good shot. He fucked up, and I was like letting him do it. Well, finally, I shot, I missed. Well, they're gone. So we're like, that's our first day. So we're like, oh, who cares? And we're boating back.
This is in Kodiak?
Yeah, Kodiak. It is. But the guy's like, and we're boating back. He's like, we'll come back. I got a place for tomorrow, you know, this and that. And the partner's like, hey, well, what about that one right there? He's like, what's that? He's like, and this goat had come down and was like right near the water. There's a cliff, but he must have been eating something. But it was literally 20 yards off the shore.
Can't beat that.
No. And at 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
we're like,
Oh, it's just about to get dark.
yeah, it was like 4:30. We're like, walked up. He's like, he's like, Trent, take it. I'm like,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We steadied his boat. It was calm enough water that we shot from, I was able to shoot from the boat. Got it. I hopped off the boat. He's got a landing craft. Run up the rock, grab it, done. And it's like, wow, that was easy. Go on. Let's do this tomorrow.
I'm a goat hunter now.
I got me a goat.
So yeah, I was like, piece of cake. Next day, which was our last day because we had a short window, and
Was that because of weather, Trent?
just everything timing. He had to
Timed
get
all that,
back, and it was a good guy deal, friend. He's like, I'm taking time out from his family. It's not a normal thing to do.
And are you flying out there?
No, we're going on a boat, but we fly to Kodiak, yeah. And
But then not from Kodiak, you leave the harbor.
no, we take Inter Island,
Okay.
and then
What's that?
So he flies out from the harbor.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, you
To,
take
to
like a
another
beach-
point
To
on the
another
island.
harbor.
Well, you take
Got
like
it.
a beaver over, and
Yeah,
then
yep.
yep,
And
okay, then boat out.
Correct. And then so the last, he's like, I got this plan. We go to this one bay. It's a no-go. I'm like, they're right there. He's like, Trent, that's bad. You're not going to get in there.
Nasty.
And I'm
Steep,
like, but they're right.
lots
They were
of
only
cliffs.
like 400. It's just like, he's like, you can't get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm like, I can.
Yeah.
But if my guy says I can, I can't. He's an animal.
Yeah.
Right.
Trust him.
And so he goes, okay, we'll go. We get time. We'll check one more bay. We go back in this one more bay. And he's like, there's some up there. It's pretty tough, but they're up there. You can get them. You know. I'm like, okay. And I'm all game now because I feel bad for my partner because it was his trip.
Yeah.
You know, and I got mine already. And I'm like, let's go home.
Yeah.
You know. So, but he's
done
like,
deal.
he's like, let's go up. Yeah, there it is on the lower right, or that.
Yeah, right there on the right.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Right here.
Yep,
Yeah.
And that's looking down from.
So, if you see, man, there's one I doctored up, I think, with pencil. But anyway, so we shoot this goat. It starts snowing, raining. We get a look at
Click
him.
on that again, Brandon. Sorry. Click on that same picture and
Yeah.
click to the right. Click on the right arrow right there. Yep. There it is.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
Oh.
So what happens is we shoot it. He shoots it. It goes down.
So it shoots it. It's at what one? It's the goat's at spot 4.
It's actually kind of when we initially shot it. It's kind of where the yellow V is first. Okay,
Right.
kind of up top, right there. Kind of he's up there. Anyway,
Okay, right there.
he starts, and we're down below somewhere. We shoot. It's about 300 yards. And again, you're looking up. It's not that steep. And as you start going up, it gets steeper. So we shot him. He went
It's a
down,
wall,
and my
yeah.
buddy's like, "Let's shoot him again. Shoot him." I'm like, "No, man, he's down. Like you saw him. He was down." He's like, "Well, we hike up, get around the corner, come up, and the thing's standing up." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Shoot him again. So he shoots him. That's where he was at the 1 spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took off running down to the 2 spot.
Okay.
And we're over there where Brandon's arrow is. And I'm like, we lose him. We're like, okay, well, I think he went up this way.
Then you crawled all the way up on that? That is.
So
like
we
a
went,
wall.
tried to go all the way up. We couldn't find, and it was funny. We're in these, and they get steeper and steeper, and it's a ravine. And I'm fast forwarding all over the place. So I'm like, I call my boat guy. I'm like, hey, we can't find this goat. I don't know where he's at, you know. And he's like, well, we got time because we got about 5 hours. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you better find him.
But he's like, just keep looking. I'm like,
Yeah.
He's like, we're at daylight.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm already kind of like, I want to go home.
Yeah, you're like checking out. Yeah. No, I can't find him. I think we should probably
Just tell me to come back to the boat.
I would feel horrible. And so and my guy, I'm like, I can't do that. Like, so I'm digging deep so he's like, I think I found it. And I'm like, and he found it because he could see blood dripping down the side of 2 cliff.
Got it.
In the snow, and it was hanging over on literally like in the on the cartoons where there's an animal hanging over a branch on the end of a cliff.
Yeah.
That's where the goat was at.
like on the just teetering, like just
Just in it. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
when I finally got to the goat, it was covered in snow because it was snowing, and and it took us so long to find it. And my partner's like, I'm not going down there because it was like this and snow, and I'm like, well, there's one alder before, so I'm going to try and, if I start to slide, I'll grab onto that.
Yeah.
And then the other one was 3 yards away. So I did. I got to that, and then I was able to kick it off.
Kick it off the cliff.
Yeah. So
it went from 2 to 3.
yeah. And then I'm like, okay, so what now, Kia? And he's like, well, you got to kick it off the other cliff. I'm like, what? So,
How come
it's hard, you
have
can't
to
see.
do that?
So, because it was stuck. And the only way to get down, so then we walked back down around. You pick your
On
way
the left,
through.
the left yellow.
Yeah, down through. Well, you see that middle
Okay.
line from 2
Yep.
going down. You walk through zigzag there, and you get to there. So then I had to walk through there.
Right
Yep.
over that like
Yep.
100-foot ledge. or
Yeah,
whatever
and that was a big cliff, and I was
right
like,
here.
yeah,
Right,
I'm
this
like,
one here.
Oh, that's death.
yeah, and and we kick it. Me and him actually, the guy came with me this time, and we threw it off.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, and we're just like, oh, thank God. And we're just like, we made it. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, we got so far to go still because it doesn't look like that.
now you got to backtrack
All the way back,
the way
go
down
back
to
down
here.
there. And he's like, well, there's one more cliff. So then that's the last one.
That's
Which
the
was-
And it got hung up on that one.
it was just there. It's just the way you had to go.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
It was like a step, like
Yeah.
bop, 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 bop,
yeah,
bop.
you couldn't. It didn't. And so then we finally got to that and threw it down. He's like, okay, you guys are good from here now. And we're like, oh my God, we have like 400 yards of boulders in the snow, and we're exhausted. Like I'm
Yeah,
whooped.
like you were done.
But he's like, well, I guess you guys won't die. You might just break a leg.
Oh, that'll be okay. Is this that goat?
Yeah. And it
Oh,
was-
so
yes.
the horns didn't break off or anything?
No.
Wow.
It was, so that was my experience. I think it was payback for getting one so easy.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was gratifying, and it's delicious.
Oh man, you gave me some of that actually.
I need to give you like some real. We'll do some. I still have some of the back straps.
Here's the one where he wasn't sweating.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, like nothing.
Yeah, like hey.
It looks like you just got done from one of those triathlons.
Yeah, I'm like good.
His boots aren't even wet.
No,
He's like, yeah.
I didn't even get wet. I didn't even break a sweat.
It was just beach combing, and you got it.
That's what we used to make fun. So we're going looking for the muscle goats. Which one are the ones eating the muscles?
Yeah, that's right. So did you rug it?
No, I'm getting a 3/4
Tan it?
mounted right
Okay.
now from the guy at Wasilla.
Okay.
He's the one who tans the stuff himself.
Nice.
The one just on the north end of town.
You know, see,
Yep, you got a guy that
guy tells me to go to that guy.
Yeah, I that guy. Yep, Wasilla.
Is that Foster's? No, you don't know?
Couldn't
No.
tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay, man.
Yeah, no, it's I think I want
That's why he's got friends like us. Like, hey, man, which
Do
boots
this
should I buy?
thing.
Yeah.
Those,
These,
yep.
What's
all
the
right.
family think about the goat flavor?
Ours was really good. You know, I was nervous about it, and my kids love it. The burger you cannot tell at all.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I have a friend who did it, and he, put beef fat, and it's good, or suet or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's delicious.
Did you try the
can't tell.
enchiladas? I sent him your enchilada.
Oh, you
recipe.
did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't done it yet because I'm just like, sometimes I don't want to mask anything. It's so good. I've
good.
been eating just burgers because I want to just
To
taste
taste
the
it.
meat.
Oh, you don't
Yeah.
put any seasonings or
Yeah.
Salt and
anything?
pepper.
Yeah.
That's it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Because-
The mountain goat is the only antelope in North America.
Wow.
You were
And it
saying
is
that.
fucking good.
It is good, and people don't think it is, but it is amazing.
I've heard like it's gross and tough.
No,
and
that's not true.
I don't believe it. I mean,
It is
it's
tough
it's a
if you
mountain.
don't have it made into burger and stuff, right?
Oh, you're talking about if you have like
If you try to make roasts out of the hind quarter,
okay,
that's a bad decision.
Well,
okay,
contraire, mon frere.
Really?
yeah.
That meat I gave you was a roast. I slow cooked it for hours, though. I mean, and it completely broke down.
Oh, that's awesome.
Had the bone in it. Did everything. I used the cider stuff. I don't remember the recipe. See that? It's
Yeah,
that
the
roast
double
right
shovel
there.
ciders. Mhm.
on the lower
On the
left.
left.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
It was
It's
amazing.
got some fat in there.
suspect, and it just it was like pulled pork.
Really?
Yeah. Takes you got to be patient.
Yeah, patience.
What-
Look at those
what-
burger packs, man. There's a lot of that's an evenly spread, like speckled.
Yeah, nice fat.
Yeah.
Mix.
Your
What,
buddy
what do
did
you
that?
what do you harvest off of a goat if you do a full debone meat? Like,
Weight wise,
yeah.
They're like ours because it's the end of winter. They're starving.
Oh, they weren't very fatty.
No, we got not much meat off of them.
Yeah, they look skinny in the photos to me.
They're all just crippled because
Yeah.
they're waiting to start eating again.
So they're like big and furry, but then
Yeah.
like when you pull the hide off, they're
There's
just
nothing.
thin.
They looked like anorexic.
Yeah,
we were 2 weeks before the season ended.
I'm wondering too on that, like the meat quality, like if you harvested one in say October, or
So
versus-
that big Billy I got 2 years ago,
was like an October November.
it
goat.
was the first week of October. It was a big Billy,
So right about now.
and I think boned out was 95 pounds.
And that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a big goat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
I think we got 90 pounds for the two of ours.
Okay, that would make sense because you got a big, mature, fat, like well-fed summer.
Yeah, I mean,
Fat
it was a
Billy.
big goat. There's 3 big Billies together, and they're big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
They
about
look
100
like polar bears up there
Mm-hmm.
with all that fur.
yeah. I mean, they just seem like maybe they just look bigger than what they are
Their fur is very, very thick.
Goat's on my list, man. I don't have a goat yet.
Me either. I want one bad.
I want one bad.
I equate him to like a black bear. Like if you've ever skinned a black bear out, you know, there's a lot of hide, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, there's like not that much meat on this thing.
And there was zero fat on ours, just because it was like end of the season.
Yeah, they were just surviving.
Tired. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of the reasons I waited so long was so I could get the kids a rug. You know, a billy goat rug.
Oh,
and
that
it was
later,
in between
season.
their rooms, so we waited that long, which it ended up being really treacherous, kind of similar to your story, Jake.
Well, not the first story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is similar to the second story.
The first one's gonna happen one time in your life.
Except for it was.
They're like, I'm never, and then we're gonna go back. And the guy's like, we're going back, right? And I'm like, okay, but
Yeah, sure.
everything though we did is like it was within our limits. Like I never like there was this one part I'm like, I can't make it. I was gonna have to get across, and the guy's like, Trent, if you just get over there, it's 30 yards. Like. But I'm like, it was like from here, and I didn't have a foot. I was gonna have to jump, and like this.
Yeah, that's
and
always
I'm like,
uncomfortable. Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
The guy's like, why don't you? It's right, you know. And then you come.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well I did. Look, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. So
Well, you know, look, I think we have to do our due diligence as hunters and harvesters to do what it takes to get the animal out of the field. But I do not feel like you need to risk well-being, health, and life. For it.
So, no, I agree. We worked so hard, and I felt so bad. Like I was like, if we lose this goat, my guy, I'm like, I would feel horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, after we got it and got to the boat, I'm like, Kia, what would have happened if we couldn't have got that? Like, couldn't have got it. You guys tried for 8 hours. Like, I mean, and when we shot it, it wasn't. And when we shot it, it wasn't in a spot like that. We weren't shooting something you couldn't go get.
Right.
It's when he got up and ran, and then he got into a spot that was really difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the same thing. I don't want to shoot something where I know I can't get to it. Well, we thought we could get to it, and we could have. And he just said, you just call it in and say, unretrievable.
Mountain ethics.
Well, I think that is a very difficult concept for non-hunters to accept. Yeah. People that haven't actually tried to go and get their own meat, and sometimes these situations come up where you've done your due diligence and you made the right shot, but this animal runs and falls into a place that you just cannot retrieve it. Mm-hmm. And there's rules in place. You tell ADF and G, you mark your tag as if you got it. Yep. And listen, the animal's not going to go to waste. Yep. Birds are going to get that. Ravens are going to get that. The animal's going to be eaten. It's going to go back into the soil. It might fall down into the ocean. It's going to go back into the cycle of life. Yeah. And just not part of your cycle.
That's two things that I got to like. We quit 5 times, but then you just regroup. So we got time. Let's try again, and we did that over and over. Stopped, quit. We're done. After you rest, drink a little water, whatever. Okay, we got
talk about it a little bit more.
We'll try, but if it gets bad, we're done. Well, we kept getting a little further, and it worked out. And so that's one part, and then the part you said about. I kind of have this thing about people saying, "Oh, you're not using everything. I didn't eat the butthole or whatever." Somebody will. Yeah. It ain't gonna be me.
I'm not into it.
Yeah,
the bird got it.
Or I don't clean my fish as good as I'm supposed to. Well, I put in all our stuff goes back in the river. A fish is gonna eat it. Birds are gonna eat it. I don't lose too much sleep over it. It's just funny how you can see, like, especially on social. Oh, you're not eating the whole entire animal. Nope.
Yeah.
But I'm doing the best I can. I'm enjoying it, and I'm not. It's not going to waste.
Yeah. No, it never does.
You know where it came from. It had a good life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of times those comments, what I've found, and I had this conversation with my dad, is a lot of times those comments are coming from European people, whereas they out-hunted their entire lands.
Oh, there's not.
There's no more animals to hunt there. Over decades and decades of years and centuries of years.
No management.
There's no more animals there to hunt. So if you're raised with never hunting, never eating that kind of meat, never going out and retrieving your own sustenance, then you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yep.
You don't know about that culture. Whereas this is still a lively culture that we're living in.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a lot of family that live in Florida, New York. Most of them think everything's cool, and a lot of them want to come up, but there's probably half of them that are like, why do you do this? Like, why are you hurting that thing? And where they just don't understand that.
Yeah.
Where that is very unique to many parts of the world. And Alaska is actually one of the main parts where this is like a mecca of where that lifestyle and that culture is still very vibrant and still thriving because the management is there and the respect is there and we know what we're doing.
Culture,
yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter wants to go. She wants to go shoot a caribou. And I said, "Are you ready?" She's like, "I'd be fine." She goes, "We're gonna eat it." Like it's, and I think the relatives. If you ever do the 4-H club and those kids, they're doing the same thing. They're raising animals to be slaughtered. It's just how you're brought up and how you respect the animals and what you're doing and
what your perception is.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's so foreign to other people, but at least in my family, it's like pretty known. If you shoot it, we're gonna eat it.
Right.
I post my kids want to shoot squirrels. I'm like, okay, if you shoot it, we're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
That's the number one rule with my kids.
And they shot it. They cleaned it. They cooked it over the fire, and they ate it.
Yeah. I had my buddy that came. Shout out to my boy Brian. He came out on the caribou hunt. It'd never been his hunt. He'd never gone hunting before. Raised in Alaska his entire life and never really been hunting. He moved to Seattle. He came up. He wanted to go on a caribou hunt. I took him up with Swansea. There was no caribou to be had. There's ground squirrels all over. He was just itching to like get something, and I was like, okay, well. In our family, if you're going to shoot something, you're going to eat it. Yeah. So if you're willing to eat this thing that you're going to shoot, I mean, I've never shot one of those ground squirrels that are running around. Yeah. But you know what? I've been curious.
Let's see.
So if you're going to shoot that thing and you're going to skin it, and I'm going to show you how to skin it, I'm going to show you how to clean it, and then you're going to cook it and you're going to eat it, by all means.
Ground squirrel taco night.
Yeah. And we ate it, and we did it, and my son still talks about it to this day. He's like, remember your friend, and he shot the ground squirrel?
So are you guys shooting ground squirrels?
We're never shooting a ground squirrel again because this is not good. Don't do it.
Fat little bastards aren't as
No, they're not tasty. But maybe we didn't cook it right because you know what? I saw some people from the Hmong culture that turned that meat into larb with that spicy sauce. Yeah. That probably just like everything is how you cook it.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not. They're going out there slaying those things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're trying to get 40 of them and make a whole thing of it.
Yeah.
So maybe I go with some of these traditional Hmong hunters that are doing that, and it might change my mind. Yeah. You know, but the way that we did it was not legit.
No, it wasn't very good.
No bueno.
Yeah.
Maybe you brought the E2000 in the crock pot. Maybe it might have been.
Yeah, you're going to need a whole bunch of sauce to get that right.
Get some curry.
No, that's a good point. I mean, we're just it's all about what you know and how you're raised and the culture you live in and what's acceptable, what's not. I've learned over this short period of time, being a little bit more exposed to like the social media and social networking community, that a lot of people are going to criticize on the harvesting of wild animals. And at first I was kind of like defensive about it. Like, well, what do you mean? Like, I mean, you see it, we're eating it. And like, well, how could you be offended? And I'm like, well, they don't know any better. And so now I'm like more accepting of the fact that they're just ignorant. And I don't mean that they're dumb, ignorant. I just mean that they don't know any better. Yeah. They don't understand what it's like to harvest wild animals, fill a freezer, and eat that over the winter. Do we need it? Absolutely not. Can I go to Costco and buy $800 worth of ribeyes and stock my freezer? Absolutely I can. But I'm choosing not to because there is a resource available to me that is amazing. It's great. It's delicious. You learn value. You learn history. You learn, I don't know. It's like it gets you back to your.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get an
it's
experience. Well, I guess you do get an experience when you go to Costco, but it's not the same.
not even close. Different kind of hunting.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. Like, I'm not a subsistence hunter. I don't hunt for my food.
Right.
I choose not to go to Costco and go kill an animal and put it in my freezer versus go and buy beef. I can buy beef.
Yeah.
So I'm not a subsistence hunter, but I do enjoy the fruits of our labor. We said that in episode 31, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's the experience. And I love that. And
Well, the thing that the people that go buy the meat at Costco are lacking is the experience. Guess what? You're still a part of the death of that animal. You know what I'm saying? You're still partaking in getting the nutrients of this animal that gave its life for you.
Yep.
The only thing that you didn't do was actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
You
guess what?
spotted
There's
the
a lot
package.
to gain from actually doing it yourself
Yep.
and learning.
Even if you don't pull the trigger and kill the animal and take the life, just going on the trip, Trent, you mentioned it, all those years that you were the 6th shooter, it didn't matter, did it?
No.
You just went there and you helped hold a leg back and hang a quarter and, peel the backstrap off and cut it up and throw it. I mean, you just were
You
part
learn
of it.
something each year.
Yeah,
It's
man.
kind of like,
Like-
you get, first then I was just the leg guy. Now,
Yeah.
now they're like, hey, you can cut some of that hide off.
Your neck
Oh,
guy.
I get the skin? Okay.
Then after I got the skin off,
meat
then
guy.
by year 3, I can cut some meat.
Now, I'll bet you can take your daughters out there and kill a caribou and do a full field dress and make sure you can get it in game bags and get it hung.
I would
and bring it
feel-
home and debone it. And I bet you, even if you're not sure how to do every single step, you could figure it out because of what you learned in all those experiences, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
the
say
beauty of it.
I was gonna say something, but I hear it all the time. 100%.
Yes.
No, but I mean, yeah.
No,
I
but
mean,
people say it a lot.
No, I know. I hear it a lot. Here.
Keep it 100.
Yeah. No, but that's right. I learned little bits and pieces along the way, and now I'm like, you know what? I can do this.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you went out right now alone and killed a black-tailed deer, you could probably clean
Yeah.
that whole
Yeah.
thing.
At
Might
fir-
take you a
yeah.
little longer than like the next guy, but you could figure it out and get it done.
I love the deer hunting.
I know, isn't that
so
fun,
fun.
man?
I like it's a combination of like kind of all the hunts, in my opinion. If you want to walk your bag off, walk your bag off. If you want to sit in the beach and wait for them to come, do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And anywhere,
Call
in between.
call them in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I usually get bears to come in with that though. So, but do whatever
That's
kind of
okay too.
anything and then you get so much practice because like
Yeah.
most people for us we get one maybe
Yeah.
but we're hanging 15 deer
Yeah.
and here's a chance. I screwed that one up. Guess what? Here's another one. You just keep going.
Like cleaning
Yeah.
fish, right?
There's a
Like
lot of
just- yeah,
opportunities.
Yeah,
like a
learning
lot
how
of
to cut the meat.
experiences. Yeah.
Now I can look at a quarter and go instead of just like I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have a little.
Well, it's like a manageable game animal. It's like 70 pounds or 50 pounds.
Yep.
It's not enormous. You can grab the leg, lift it, slice it up. You're not like, all right, man, hold this 175-pound quarter while I try to hide it. You can actually like manage it and
Or pull it to the beach. And
So we
Yeah.
drag them.
Yeah.
do it hung.
We got them, drag them to the beach
Yeah.
for the most part. Hang them at the place. They have a meat place. We'll skin them that night. Leave them there till it's time to start cutting them up. And then
Nice.
cut them
Yeah.
up in a couple days. And
Yeah.
Yep. The night
Yep.
before you go home type thing.
Yep.
let them cool off and case and all that. Yeah.
Thinking a little bit more about that Costco thing, it's really interesting because the same disturbance like these other people have with us, people that aren't familiar with our culture have
There you go.
looking
Good.
into our experience, and they're like, oh, this surprising thing, this thing I'm uncomfortable with, that this killing and harvesting this animal. I feel like that I have that when I go into Costco and I see the meat there, that there's no connection with the harvest, and it's all about like when I kill an animal, and especially when I kill an animal or I'm with someone that killed an animal for their first time, or maybe it's like they're newer to it, they didn't grow up with it. There's an emotional connection to this living being, and you do not get that. And once you grow up harvesting animals and having to deal with that connection every time to this living animal, every time that you harvest something,
And every time you eat it and think about that you killed that thing, then you go in the grocery store and you're like, man, where's like the life and soul of this place? Like we just
Took that part out.
slaughter all these animals and put them here. And I have no idea where this came from. Did this thing have a good life? Like we could get into Portlandia and ask like Jacob, but really like it's interesting because as you guys were talking about that, I'm like, wow, like I grew up in the complete opposite, kind of place.
It's nice knowing where your food comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the little Elliot Daniels tip. I forgot about writing the kid's name on who got that fish.
Oh, that one's great.
I just say, Lewis, that's the fish you caught. And he's like, it is? He's still young enough to like, yeah, that's the one you caught.
Dad knows.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, okay. I'm going to eat fish tonight. You know, I mean, but
Yeah.
he gets,
Well, it just tastes better now.
yeah.
You know, cooked the same way, but it tastes better.
And the one, you guys, the other day, I was listening to the go-to kid meal. Maybe I'm, for us, our family, one of the go-tos is stroganoff.
Oh yeah.
They love that.
Yeah.
I mean,
With game.
It can be game. It can be burger. It can be
yeah,
backstrap.
Yeah.
Roast, chop it up.
Yeah.
My kids love. If I'm gonna make stroganoff, if I ask what they want, they're gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For their weekly meal.
Yeah.
Are you making it from scratch or are you doing the hamburger helper?
I don't do hamburger helper. No, but I've done from scratch.
Yeah.
I'm like okay, and then I'm like I have the family recipe, the cream mushroom soup, sour cream,
Yeah.
The wine.
garlic, whatever, the easy one, and it's very close to the one that takes
all day.
where you use creme fraiche and reduce and do all that. It's like, and I'm like, taste test. I'm gonna do the one that took me an hour.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, leading up to that, I think that, I mean, we've had how many meat parties? 5, 6?
5 or 6, yeah.
5 or 6?
I donate. I miss them all.
Trent has not come to one.
I'm always in Hawaii.
Trent is
Yeah,
always in
because
Hawaii.
It's that time of year. Yeah.
But Trent has donated
Yeah.
every single year. He's been wanting to come, and if he can't come, I will meet up with Trent, and he just gives me a bag of all these meats that he harvested
Make this.
to donate. So I just can't wait for maybe this year. Maybe this is the year.
It should
Yeah.
be.
So we're shooting for February 15th, I think it is.
19th.
19th, is that what it is?
Yeah, let me double check.
Winter
around.
Hawaii trip.
I just go because I go visit my parents and I try and break it up. So I
Yeah.
usually go. I don't have
perfect time
I don't
to
have one
go.
yet. That would be good because if I'm gonna go, I would go earlier February, and then I'd go back end of like spring breakish.
Yeah.
Well, the permit release is Friday the 18th.
So
The
we're going to
third
shoot
Friday,
for February the 19th.
19th, Saturday.
Make sure.
Didn't you say you're
when's
going
the
to be
Super
gone
Bowl?
then?
What's that?
Aren't you going to be in Hawaii
The next week.
the next week?
Remember we hashed
Jack,
that out in
you're
the
here?
meeting last week.
Yeah, I know how many trips.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We're only inviting 50 couples.
I think the Super Bowl is like way
Before.
before that. Yeah.
It's usually around the.
I want to say like
12th.
the 6th.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
That's a sporting event. Oh man, I tried.
Speaking of that, are you skating still? You doing hockey? I used to
I'm
play
not-
on
I
Trent's
know.
hockey team.
We-
Trent Taylor Restoration had a hockey team.
like
This
jerseys
is
and
like
everything?
pre-Northwest Flyers.
Pre-Northwest Flyers. I think we won a championship.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, dude. I got the jersey still in my garage, hung up, dude. The red
got a
jersey
cup.
with the white.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the cup. How come you don't skate no more? That's an old man game, man. That you should.
Yeah, but I know I should. I can give you a million excuses, but I miss playing hockey. It was so much fun. It's kind of one of those things. Is I had played baseball my whole life, quit. Kids got busy. I'm like, and then my one friend, he started playing hockey, and he's like, "Hey, you can play hockey?" I'm like, "I got kids." He's like, "No, this is at late at night because your kids
We
will
all
be in
got
bed.
kids,
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll be in bed because men's league you had games at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got roped into playing. Got roped into sponsoring, got roped into managing, and I had 2 teams, and I'm like, and after a while, then I just got
I'm
burned
like
out.
reliving
Yeah.
Trent's life here.
Yeah, this is where it's gonna go.
Yeah, find
And
someone
then-
else to manage it so you don't get burnt out, and we can still.
No,
have
I
the
wish
team.
I skated. Then I started coaching kids. I was coaching the Gomez Foundation. And
badass.
and I'm on their board back again to help with them. But I got a lot of gratification helping the kids versus because I'm not going to score any great goal. It's fun, but I put more of my energy into like I said, the Gomez Foundation. And I wasn't a good hockey. I was like, I can carry the pucks. And Carlos was like, well, you got to get a certified coaching instructor. I'm like, why? I'm just helping with the pucks. So I went through all the coaching stuff, and and we won a state championship. It was fun. It was a blast.
That's way cool.
I think what I've learned about that process is giving your time is way more gratifying than just writing a check.
Yes,
absolutely.
But I didn't really. I'm like, no, I'm helping a lot. I give money out to a lot of people in need. But the gratification you get from just helping and actually giving your time and the relationships, like there's kids that just say, "Hey, Coach Taylor,"
Yeah.
And that was 12 years ago.
Hell yeah.
It's fun. Yeah. So no more men's hockey for me.
Why not, man? Come on.
If you ever want to sub, you come out for a game.
We need subs all the time, dude.
Yeah,
you know all the guys. It's pretty much the Taylor team is now the double shovel team.
Okay, perfect.
Minus Johnny Severson.
Oh yeah, because he's too good.
Yeah, Johnny, he
doesn't pass anyhow.
Oh, he's over the age limit or what?
No, I don't know.
He got over it.
That level is just like, I'm going to take it down a notch.
Yeah, when you get to 40, you want to slow it down a little bit.
I thought he was skating with Lumberjacks for a while.
He's in the Vets League. That Vets League is amazing, dude. That Vets League is like everyone on that Vets League either played like juniors or college, and like I'm JV East High, dude. Like I'm not Vets League. You know what I'm saying? I'm Sarvis.
So he's
Johnny?
Yeah.
Johnny was a good soccer. He's the one that taught me how to play hockey.
He's got money hands.
He's just good at
No,
it.
Johnny,
no
dude.
shit.
Like it used to be me and Jonathan Severson at Wendler when I was like 10 years old. He taught me how to slap shot, taught me how to like skate backwards. Like I'm in here, my Canadian Flyers. Like I didn't know what I was doing, dude. My mom was just dropping me off, and Johnny's out there just wheeling around as a young man. You know what I'm saying? Slap shotting, dude, like trying to fight kids.
I was going to say, did he teach you how to punch people?
Yeah, no, I think I got my first black eye from him on a slap shot when he's just like trying to crack one. And I'm just like skating around, like wobbling. He just took one right to the dome.
See you tomorrow, Daniel.
Yeah.
Be back here at 5:30.
All right, I'm still there the next day with ice on my eye.
It's also like the guys that push it really hard, like growing up, and they're waking up at 4 a.m. every morning, and their parents too, and then they're skating 6 days a week, and they miss out on all summer because they're fucking doing dry land and all this shit. Like when they grow older, they don't want to play hockey anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, like
true.
I didn't learn until I was 30, so it's super fun for me.
Yeah,
Same. Like I played 2 years of hockey when I was a kid, when I was like 14 and 15, and I didn't skate till I was 30.
Yeah.
So now it's still fun for me. Like I loved hockey. Like I wish I would have played hockey more growing up.
Yeah.
Versus like, Johnny or some of these other guys, like they lived
That was
hockey.
their life.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they just
But
all
there's
they
a
did was hockey.
merge. There's a merging, like. So like we keep getting better, and they keep getting worse, and we're finally like this 40 age is like perfect. But there's like a few people like Jerry with his body, my brother with his body. Like no one will be able to use their body like Jerry can. Like you can't learn that as an adult. Johnny with his hands, and Freshie with his beautiful skating.
Oh yeah,
like
he's such a beautiful
it is
skater.
like pirouettes. Like he would win the
just
figure
glides around.
skating competition just with how pretty he hockey skates. And like you won't
Doesn't
be able
even
to
need
do
to touch
that.
the puck. Just look all good out there. Just
But we all the rest of us all kind of merge.
Yeah, men's
And-
league is
and it makes it
the
really
final
fun.
merger, dude. It doesn't matter how good you were, you end up in men's league.
And it's
Okay,
pretty good.
and you're going to be
hockey.
there with me and Jack and Trent. Okay, I don't give a fuck if you're Scott Gomez. You're going to be at the fucking men's league,
Yeah.
dude. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Monday night, it's me versus you, bro. Let's see what you got.
that's what's funny. I was thinking about like the kids that just grind and go through that whole thing, and then I'm like, man, fast forward 30 years, you're gonna be right over here with a job playing beer league at 9:30.
A lot of them hate it and quit.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I would say
that's
that
no
most
good.
of them that like took it really hard, really took it really far, just quit.
Yeah.
Like it was just too much.
Yeah. A little advice for parents that are pushing their kids in hockey, or baseball, or whatever. Like, let them play other things. Like, anyone, when you do really dig into the research of the people that actually made, college scholarships and all this, they played multiple sports.
Yeah.
They did
Oh,
multiple
definitely.
things.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't just focus on one thing, where it seems like now it's like you have to be at spring camp and summer camp and this
Yeah,
camp and
you don't
all
do
winter and
anything
3
else.
different teams. Whereas like if you, like I played soccer with Scott. at Wendler.
Right.
Like I played, like all these guys that
Like you
went to the
said-
NHL all played soccer. They all
He's
played tennis.
He's a Hall of Fame hockey player, or arguably soon to be, I think, a Hall of Fame
Definitely.
hockey player, Gomez. But you said he was a kick-ass soccer player.
And baseball.
And
He was
baseball.
really good at
and
baseball.
tennis, dude. He's
Yeah.
an amazing tennis player too.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah, you just
play
like-
all these other things because you get different dynamics, you get different skills, you get different movements from that, and you don't get burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
By
keeps
doing the
it
same
fun
thing.
and light.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember growing up with a kid named Tui. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, but he ended up going, I think, like as far as like practice squad Giants. But he was a
In baseball or
football. But he was a phenomenal baseball, basketball player. But he committed to football.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big, giant man-child. Like you said, he just was a man when we were all little boys. But he, to your credit, he played all track and field. I mean, shock put. This kid could just launch that thing.
Yeah.
But the natural abilities to do all those things made him better at that one sport that he committed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right about that, man. It's like gotten kind of crazy with the hockey thing.
It's not just hockey. Like you talk to these parents, especially
yeah.
in the lower
Baseball,
48, and it's
they're
coming.
traveling.
Even
Wow.
baseball too. Yeah.
These
like
elite
life.
teams
Soccer.
popping
all
up.
their
It's like you donate your whole year to it.
Yeah, my brother's got a guy he used to work with. You know, as this kid went into high level hockey, he just dedicated his whole life, like transitioned his career, moved to another state, and I think they play in the same beer league now here back in Alaska.
It all comes back to men's league,
It's
dude.
just like, man.
All comes back to
I mean,
men's
he
league.
was like, $50,000 in credit card debt to get to where he wanted this kid to get to, and then now they're here.
Yeah,
They are
you
playing beer
can't live
league
your
together,
dreams
you
through
know.
your kids, dude. Like,
No,
let your
don't do
kids
that.
have their own
yeah,
dreams.
don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Do your kids play anything?
Soccer
Soccer?
and downhill ski and live dances.
Nice.
And Lewis is, my thing, they played hockey and everything they would like, I don't want to do that after, I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do next? And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you can stop that, but you're going to do something else.
Yeah.
And so he got into soccer, and last year, 2 years ago, he was like, I don't want to play soccer anymore. I'm like, okay, well, then what are you going to do? And he's like, okay, I'll play soccer. But then it clicked for him last year.
Yep.
He became better, more confident, and now it's all he wants to do, And I do want two sports, so that's why I have him skiing in Girdwood, and it's just a variation, transition.
Yeah.
Transition.
Just something to keep their minds off it. There's kids that play hockey on his soccer team, and they were terrible soccer players before, and then they started learning how, and now they're great soccer players, and I'm sure it's showing up on the ice too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, it
they're
has to
just
be.
and
Yeah.
same thing with my daughter. She's a dancer. She was soccer. She didn't like the physical,
Yeah.
and she's like, I like dance, so she loves that, and she downhill skis. So I like them to have a variation, and keep some.
variety in their
Also, team sport.
set.
I like them to have the team sport.
absolutely.
Are they
Team
what,
sport's good.
What are they doing for skiing? Are they doing the racing or like the free skiing?
They're doing Mighty Mites, and I've had a lot of discussion about that. And what it really came down to is I believe that the Mighty Mite racing teaches them to be a better skier. And that's what I've heard is it teaches you have to turn when you have to turn.
Right.
yeah. By
Free
design.
skiing is like
Do
do
it
it
wherever
wherever
you
you
want.
want. So as they get older, after they've learned the fundamentals a little better, then they can go free ski if they want. And really, right now they're in the Mighty Mite program. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
They have that's house skiing. The comp is the you whatever, and you're going on Wednesday
Yeah.
nights and doing all this.
Yeah.
But there's kids who do the ski races. It's racing, but they can ski race in their just regular coats and snow pants, where the other levels are like suits,
uniforms.
Right,
and
right.
helm, So, yeah, I like that they're doing the Mighty Mites.
Yeah. Okay. That's good information for me.
It is. I think.
Well, there's no pressure there, right?
No, my
Yeah,
daughter,
right.
she was scared of the races. She cried the first race. I said, just do it.
Yeah.
And by the end, she podiumed her last two races, and she was
Nice.
loving it. And it's not good because there's only like 10 kids in her group, but she went up.
Yeah.
I think there's a good balance between that team sport and that solo sport.
Individual.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't think, like, I blew my kid's mind that like fishing is an individual sport.
Hell yeah, it is.
Like you can get a scholarship to go fishing.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just
Oh,
crazy.
you
And they
can.
started looking at it up and
Yeah,
looking at the
you can be,
videos. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, well, ice fishing could be nice.
No, I totally agree with you. You know, growing up, people were like, "Oh, did you do team sports or solo sports?" And I was just like, you know, only did team sports. And then as an adult, I realized that I could like accomplish way more than I thought I could. And looking back on that, it was like all these individual efforts that I did in the outdoors. It was like hiking that mountain. It was killing that animal with my dad and packing shit out. It was like fly fishing and luring in that river. It was dealing with conditions. And those are 100% individual. So you're right on there, Daniel.
Yeah, I think there's a fine combination of all those things. And there's something to doing something by yourself. Where you're going to just be in your own head. There's no one else judging you. There's no one else pushing you. There's no one else like waiting on you. It's like either you make it or you do it or you don't, you know, and then you're going to deal with those repercussions on your own, you know? So I think finding that balance of team sport, which is highly important to get that team sport, you know, where you're learning to deal with different personalities and bullies and people that are better than you, people that are worse than you. It's all part of growing up.
And the momentum shift that you see with that, you know, like where the one side of the group is feeling this way today, and then the other side of the group is feeling this way, and when you all jive, you all kill it. And then you can see those leaders kind of step up in the groups and the team sports. And you're like, oh, how can I do that in my life? You know, how can I bring that to school or bring that to my job or whatever later on? Yeah.
Well, Lewis, like we go back to our kid, he was the youngest kid in his group playing soccer. And he's like, Dad, the kids, they don't pass to me. I'm like, well, they're 2 years older than you. Because during COVID, it was like not broken. And he's like, they don't pass to me. I'm like, well, yeah, you're not very good. I'm like, you're 2 years younger. They're supposed to be better. He's like, oh, okay, kind of, I got it. Something to do. And that's what I mean. This year it turned. Now he's playing. There's enough kids in his age group that now they're all his age. And he's one of the best players in his age group.
After playing with the older kids.
Yeah. He was the worst. But I'm like, yeah, you should be. They're 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it, and then he just kept doing it, and now it's turned into something that he really enjoys.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and now he's one of the better kids. And I'm like, hey, remember when they didn't pass to you? You should pass the ball to.
And
those
he does.
kids.
He's he's learned that because he's been on the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
So
did he learn to like talk to the older kids and say, hey, I feel like I'm not being passed to, or no? That's like more of an adult thing.
That's something you want your kid to do, but they're like,
he will, but I talked to as he's getting older, but you tell him to do those things and they'll start to set in, but no, it's not on the top of his mind to say, hey buddy, why aren't you passing to me? You know,
have you took the kids on a hunt?
We've done just bird hunting. And I wanted to take him caribou hunting, but I didn't get a tag this year.
Okay.
And so, no.
I'd love to go on a caribou hunt.
Do a family one. Yeah. That's why I got the side by side too, because I'm like, I got this to take my kids.
Yeah.
And I want to just go do that and have fun and So I'll hit you up on that for sure. Because that's the one. I know it's weird. That's the one animal I haven't shot.
Oh really, caribou?
Yeah. I mean,
I'd love to go.
That I want to.
Yeah. Let you and your son go get the caribou and just help you guys out.
Yeah.
And it's just great to see the brightness in their eyes.
Yeah.
When you get that animal and they approach it and they want to be a part of everything and hold the heart and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. It's different than when you get a bird.
Yeah.
You know?
But Liv will do it. Lewis will be like, he's not there yet, but he does everything because he says, well, if she likes it, then I will. He's a little more like,
Yeah.
But if Liv does it, which she will, because that's what she said. She said, Dad, when am I going hunting?
Yeah.
There's a kid in his class, or in her class, who's her best friend. His name's Fisher. Well, he's a killer. His dad's
Fisher.
a machine.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, Fisher's been hunting since 5. He got a bear when he was 5. He's got deer when he's 5. You know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
damn.
Yeah, he's a machine. Like,
What
you
a
go to his
bad
house,
dude.
it looks like Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. And so Liv's like,
It's my turn.
So, okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'd love to go on a caribou hunt with you guys in the family.
Yeah, let's do it.
And there's so many good caribou. That youth hunt.
Yeah.
How old is Liv?
She's going to be 10 in December.
Oh,
Same as
you came
Mateo.
out playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can put
We should put him in for that youth and maybe even go do that the hunter's ed. together with them?
We were talking about that today because I was shooting my rifle today. Finished getting it sighted in. And I'll talk to you about it offline because what's the deal with that? Because I was with a friend and he didn't know the exact deal, but I want to put in for her to be able to.
Yep. Yeah, you can still put in now.
And then you have to do the safety before if you draw the tag, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But we should just still sign up to do the class.
Yeah.
In any way. And then we'll put in for my kid and his two daughters too. And then if one of us gets it, it's so fun, dude.
Yeah.
It's so fun. And then once Packy and Pay is ready to go, dude, it's just such a fun family trip.
Yeah.
I brought my parents, my grandparents.
That's what I want to do. Let's
just
do it.
like a huge group because there's no pressure out there. And just everyone can camp, and then the group can go out and try to get the caribou and bring it back. It's an amazing, amazing experience.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you're sighting the gun in? What do you got? What do you got going?
I got a Nosler 28 Christensen's made with Christensen's arm, and a Swarrow scope on it. So here's the thing. This is what I said. And I'm not
a hot boy.
Oh
dude.
yeah. So here's the deal. Like, okay, my first deer I shot like 6 times, right? And the guy was by myself. But I won't get this long story. But I was like, and these guys come over the hill, and they're like, "Where are all the deer?" I'm like, "What's right there?" They said, "Well, what are you shooting like this?" You know, making fun of me. Like it was my first time. I'm like, "Fuck you guys! I got it," and it was a nice deer. So anyway, I always get made on my shooting skills. So and then as things progress, I'm like, I really like this. I want to get a better rifle. I was shooting with my 30-06, so it's just a little heavy to be packing around, and so things have been good. And I'm like, hey, Croach, here's your budget. Give me the best rifle I can get for this budget scope. And that's what he got me. Got the Nosler 28. He shoots the flattest, good speed, velocity. Got a Swarrow scope. And today I was like so excited because I had it kind of, and I thought I tinkered with it, and I shot it, and it was just like money, just boom. Mm-hmm. And then my next shot, boom. And I don't shoot like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
You're grouping nice.
Yeah, I was tight. I'm like, I feel so much better heading out.
Yeah.
So that's what I was getting it done.
Well, that confidence, when you go do that practice and
Mm-hmm.
you feel confident in your weapon, it just, it raises the overall just confidence and comfort.
Yeah, you feel like I can get this done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it done, but it always felt like it was a lot of stress and work. And now I feel like I can do this pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny too, because even though that preparation can still kind of get weird.
And you still miss.
Yeah, you
still
miss,
miss.
or you don't hit the mark, or
Or hits a branch.
This year for me personally, and some experiences on some kills was like, what the fuck? Like lost black bears. You know, had to shoot my moose 3 times.
I heard that.
It's like, man, I practiced and shot and almost like trained for this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the moment came and it didn't go the way.
Well, there's such a big difference from going to the shooting range and having your lay and you're perfectly set up and you got the thing and it's quiet and you got your headphones and there's nothing moving versus like, oh, I'm on this downhill and this thing's moving and there's people and there's pressure and there's it's gonna move. It's like there's bushes and there's rain and like it's just you can't train for that unless you just go out all the time and just train, like try to shoot in that element, you know.
Yeah,
it's just
I don't know who gets a chance to do that very often.
Nobody.
Yeah, not many of us. But I think that's just like the humility of it is like, man, I like bought this really good equipment. I practiced and I'm going out a field with the best gear and the best gun and the best everything that I think I can possibly get for a resource for what I can get.
Yeah.
And then you go to put it all together and put it into action. And then it goes like the other way and you're like, what? I mean,
when I shot my
you're kind of
sheep,
dumbfounded.
sat on it, I had shot like 6 times a lot because I was like, I do not want to screw this up. It was the toke tag. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Got an opportunity.
Put a lot of pressure
set
on yourself.
Yeah, and I'm set up, guys, just make sure he's laying there. Set up. He's right on the other side of the rock, my partner. And I'm just getting comfortable, you know, doing breath. And I mean, this has been 10 minutes. I'm not like,
It's like an eternity.
and he's like,
which normally you don't have that much time.
but he's just sitting there and they don't see us and we're a little bit up and perfect. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, hey, I'm ready to shoot. And they're like, oh, okay, now you can get ready. Like, they're just kind of coaching me along because I don't know what I'm doing. Get ready. And then he goes, and I hadn't quite got him in the scope. And he goes, he stood up. And I took that like he's running. No, he just stood up. But it screwed up my whole rhythm.
Yeah.
I shoot. I don't know where it goes. Misses. He ran around in a circle. Stopped again. I dry fired. Oh, fucking. But then they're like, slow down.
Yeah.
It slowed me down. I reloaded. Put it on him. Dropped him.
Yeah.
And it was like, but it did not go how it was planned.
Yeah.
I was grateful that I finally got it, but it was like, what the hell just happened? Just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a controlled environment, then it's out of control. And it's like, why?
I planned
Why
and I
did
was
it-
so peaceful. I was so relaxed. And all of a sudden it changed when he said he got up.
Your heart rate went from like slow to like raging, and now you're missing. And thankfully, you got your animal.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, there's something to that when you're a hunting partner and you're not the shooter. Like it is your job to calm the shooter down.
yeah, be
That's
calm.
what I mean. It was, and they did. That's what they're like. No, Trent, just relax, all the way until. And he said that, and he could have said. Maybe it's just how I took it. Like I said, I thought it took like he took off running. Yeah. So that's how I started.
Well, and I think there was probably a reaction by him that he wasn't planning on.
Yeah, probably.
That was just the way
startled him.
It kind of like came out, and then
Yeah.
it relayed to you as like now there's a sense of urgency when there wasn't.
No, there wasn't.
but there's just like always in your mind like the animal's just gonna get away.
Yeah.
Like it's a wild animal. It can just like pick up and go, right?
Yeah.
If anybody's ever tried to chase a caribou or a moose, okay, that's something you're not going to probably succeed in. When the animal starts going away, it's not like you can just pick up your rifle and like start trotting after it. It's going to glide off and pull away from you while you're crawling over alders and finding a creek bottom and tripping over tussocks. They're just gliding away. Yeah, it's like it's what you don't do.
Yeah. That's right.
But
A lot of hot tips here.
yeah, you know what it is? I know that there's going to be guys that and folks that are listening to this, men and women, and that some are going to be like, I have no idea what they're talking about, and there are going to be ones that are going to be like, yeah, I've seen that, done that, I've experienced that. That I can tell you right now, not everybody's shooting 370 bulls. Everybody's not shooting 70-inch moose.
No.
Not everybody's shooting 40-inch rams. Okay,
Yep.
You're going to be out here. You're going to be, as Jeff would say, mediocre.
Yep.
Because we're not all pros, and I can tell you right now, the pros, they fuck up too.
Yep.
They have things that don't go right. They have you don't see it in their edited footage of their video, but not everything goes exactly the way you planned and how you dialed in at the range and made the perfect shot. It doesn't happen. It's more times than not, it actually goes to shit.
Yeah.
But you can make it all look good when you highlight all the good stuff.
That's right. That's right. So who won the spicy greens on the trivia?
I think we have one more because we had a tie.
Oh, we have one more.
Yeah.
One last trivia.
All right,
Trent,
so
it's
let's.
on.
Should I cue it up, dude, or what? Dude?
Since you guys,
Wrong button.
Got that cow call
what
going?
should we do? I have a couple more here.
Let's get one more so we can get one more winner here, and we'll wrap this up.
All right, how many skiable, lift accessible vertical footage are at Alyeska?
Skiable lift vertical.
So not.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, not climbing to the top. If you're on a chairlift or the
So how many? If you just
Adding
take the
them together?
chairlift, if you add them all
If you go to the
from the
top-
chairlift, how many trails could you take down?
no. So if you went to the top of the mountain on the chairlift, how many vertical feet can you ski down?
I'm gonna say like 3,200.
That's a good guess. Yeah.
It's gonna be close.
Yeah, I was going to say 3,750.
That's too much.
I'm gonna cut the
Oh,
middle.
because the chairlift only goes so high.
Well, we'll see. You could be. Right.
I mean,
don't
I'm
wanna
not.
talk
I've
about it. I don't know
never.
either. I could be completely
Truth
wrong.
be told, I have never, ever skied Alaska.
What?
One time in my life.
Okay, well, let's see if
Damn.
you win.
All
Let's see.
right. Well, maybe we need to make that happen this winter.
I've never
Yeah,
snowboarded or skied
Really?
Alaska ever.
Can you do
Let's
it?
do it this year.
I mean, can you do it? Or I mean,
Yeah, you're physically able.
you're like,
Well, I mean, could I do it?
Have
I
you
mean,
guess.
you know how to
that,
ski?
like, hilltop?
No, I've never put skis on in my life.
okay.
What?
I've never put a snowboard on in my
Well,
life.
they have a magic
Okay.
carpet.
Well, we should
right for
teach you to ski this year.
think
It's
I'll
really fun.
pass.
It's like the hockey thing.
I'll be down
it's
at
really
I'll be
fun.
down at Chair 5 drinking beer, waiting for you boys to come down.
No, I'll
It's
be
the
at chair
sit smart.
5 drinking beer.
That's smart.
It's the sit smart.
Or the
I'll
don't
be at
wanna
the
be at
sit
chair
smart. No, I don't want to be
five.
at chair. I want to be at sit smart, and I'll fucking watch you.
Now, for the record, the day I got we eloped and my wife and I got married, I went up to the Seven Glaciers.
Yeah.
So I rode the lift once.
Nice. The
It was
tram.
really, really
You've
cool. Great
never
experience.
tried to ski or snowboard?
No, never, ever.
You can hike that too, the North
I,
Face.
I think I have like cross country skied.
That's
maybe twice.
crazy.
I know. I'm good with it though. I'm
No, you
not
should.
into
You
it.
should try it.
I'm like, if it ain't got a motor, I ain't going. You know what I mean?
You are a motor.
I don't know, man. It's like hockey. That if you learn as an adult, it'd be more fun.
Yeah, last time I
Yeah,
put skates
dude.
on, I
I'm
think I
ready
was
to go
5.
back to skiing.
Yeah.
Like
You
my
gonna come
knees
skiing
messed
with
up.
me
I
that
skied
day?
as a kid. I learned to ski forever. I skied forever till I got in high school and snowboarding came on. It was cool.
Yeah.
And then I snowboarded for 10 years. I got real crazy, messed up my knee,
Yep.
and then I haven't done it. But I'm ready. If I go
Let's
back,
go.
I'm gonna go
Let's
ski.
ski this winter.
I know. Does that sound really crazy?
I'm not
when I
gonna
say
go.
I've never
I'm
put
gonna
on
straight
ever?
go Green Star. You know what I'm
And the
saying? I'm just
skis
gonna
are so much
cruise, dude.
better.
I'm gonna cruise.
They are, man. They
Skis
turn
make it
for
so
you.
easy.
Yeah, dude. Like it's not the little skinny Elons
No.
I had with the
Yeah.
1 point.
You just kind of lean and they turn
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
awesome.
easy.
I'm ready to just be the one
I
guy.
can't
just
say that
like,
I wouldn't try it. I mean, I don't. I'm look. If
I think
die-
you
if
look
I
good
die
in hot
today-
green.
Oh, just full snow bunny, dude. I would be fine if I never did it. I'm good. I mean, look.
But I think you'd feel better if you're like, yep, I tried it.
I don't know, man. It's like one of those things, one of those experiences that until you do it and
good
try
point.
hard, like you don't understand it. And like that day that we went up, that was a simple day, but I'll remember that day for the rest of my life. That this just last spring, we're going up on a sunny day, and I was like, I think I might know him. Oh, it's Trent. Hey, it's Jack. And it was like, what's going on? He's like, well, the rest of them are, getting the, what are those, the drinks at the top.
Jaeger bombs?
No.
Fizzes.
Yeah, the fizz, the gin fizz.
Never mind.
To fizz or not to fizz.
That
They're
was when
getting
I
the
was
fizzes,
still-
and it was
Don't
like more
fizz,
mountains
dude.
for the rest of
Yeah.
us for spring skiing. It was a beautiful spring day.
When it was getting fizzed out.
Yeah,
Jaeger bomb.
yeah, no Jaegers. But it was just this
People still drink that.
gorgeous day, and it's
Yeah.
like you have so many of those ski days that you're like, oh, fucking remember that one day, and it was just
Yeah,
a
I'll
regular
remember
ski
that,
day.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I took the kids out. We went and did a family trip, and it was a total debacle. I didn't go out on the mountain. I actually stayed back at the hotel room. Went to the hot tub, I think. Maybe. Well, everybody skied.
Hot tubs are good too.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
everybody
down to
came
go
back
with you because
really-
it's been literally 20 years since I've gone on the mountain. But I'm down. I'll just borrow some of Jack's fancy skis and just.
I did see, though, that the onesies coming back.
It is.
Man.
Ooh, the hot.
Like, if
green onesies.
anything,
Hot
I'm a
dog and
gear
ski
guy,
bunny
so I'll just
party.
go get the gear and look really good.
Just
But
put boots on and hang out in the sits.
Yeah, that's
I'll be
right.
like, yeah.
Poser style.
You
Do they
ski?
still use
I'm
that
like,
word?
Yeah, I'll get up there eventually, you know?
What was the deal with them taking the fireplace off the sits deck?
I have no idea.
It's like it went from ski camping to no
Yeah.
more fireplace. It's
Oh, it's COVID protocol. Yeah.
Don't want people
ruin all
getting
the
around
fun.
altogether.
Yeah. There's no.
Oh, they didn't have the 6-foot spaced little circles around the fire pit?
Yeah.
Okay.
they had a gorgeous gas fired one out there though.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I guess there's like a new spa.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Arctic Spa.
Is that like officially open and like rolling?
No.
pretty soon.
Soon. It's supposed to
Yeah.
open
Okay.
this season.
Lack
yeah.
of staff.
I actually want to try that out.
Yeah. They got no one that can massage.
Yeah, you
No
wanna
one will
join?
build this hot tub. I just remember seeing that like in March. I want to say, I guess it was going to debut fall or winter of 2021, I guess. Well, no.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, this
It
winter
looked
it.
pretty cute. It
That's
looked
right.
like it was going to be a cool setup,
Supposed to.
though. Yeah. Yeah.
looks cool.
I'll be down there with my onesie.
Well, maybe we'll line up a his first caribou hunt and your first ski trip.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
Hey, look, you guys want to do it? I'm not going to say I won't do it. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Whatever, like the first little hill.
It's called
that, like that.
Magic Carpet.
There it is. Sign me up.
Magic carpet.
Hey,
baby.
it's free.
Make sure those boots got good ankle support.
They do.
Oh,
These
you're
fucking
locked
things
in,
are rubber, dude.
No,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
locked
like,
in.
No,
You're
these are like
locked.
I need a cast.
It is
They're
a
pretty
cast.
much what they are.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fully
it'll be
locked.
You
casted.
should go to Hilltop a few times with the kids.
Yeah, you're right
Be
there,
fun.
dude.
I'll get
Yeah.
to it.
It's
And then we'll go meet at Alaska and bring
Alright.
Daniel to the top.
I got this
I'll go right to the
podcast
top,
thing
dude.
and
I'll go right to the. It'll come back to me like a.
just carving.
Yeah, man. Shoot. I'm not scared.
The new skis make it easy, man.
I know. I
Swapping
look at
back
those
from
little skis
snowboarding
and I'm
was
like, man,
too
I would have
crazy.
never gave up. I never went to snowboarding if
no.
they had those good skis
No,
when I
they're
was
so
little.
good.
But it took that
Oh, that's why you
snowboard
didn't do it?
technology to make skiing cooler
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
make them like be innovative.
Yeah, that's awesome. Would you say skiing's now cooler than
It's way
snowboarding?
cooler.
I
Than
think so.
snowboarding? It's
Yeah.
back.
Oh, absolutely.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I
been
mean, I
back
remember
for
we
like
snowboarded.
10
It was
years.
like people were looked at like, "What are you doing on this
Yeah.
mountain?"
There's still
snowboarding?
people who like to do, but I would say that there's a large portion of snowboarders who really can't snowboard. They just
Yeah.
want to do it because they think it's cool.
Yeah.
Where most people who are skiing I think are skiing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the young kids that are like really into
They're doing the
being on the
freestyle.
mountain,
Yeah,
they're skiing.
They're skiing.
So
killing
it's
it.
Skiing's cool again.
You know,
Yeah.
the 13-year-olds.
That's awesome.
It's funny how things swing like that, dude.
Yeah.
It's-
It is.
So
You
who
can
won?
do a lot of cool shit.
yeah.
Did he win, Mr. I've never been on the
Oh
mountain.
yeah,
skied
so
ever?
it's 2,500.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
Okay. So the spicy greens goes to
Trent,
Trent got the spicy greens.
yeah.
There you go.
get
try it out
healthy.
I eat somewhat healthy.
Yeah.
I've been curious to try this to see if I'm going to do one of your.
Oh, you got to do it, dude. It's
Yeah.
amazing, dude. We get 2 bags a week, dude. I just munch on it every night. I love it.
There.
I need to
agenda
start
now.
doing the tour for like people that sign up for subscriptions if they're
Mhm.
like they want to come in or bring their kids.
Yeah,
Just it's pretty rad.
it is. It is. Trent, thanks for coming out, man.
Appreciate it. You guys kept
Yeah.
me way past my bedtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we at?
Did a good
Oh.
Ooh.
You gonna be able to get up and go to work tomorrow?
I might call in a little late.
Maybe make a smoothie with those greens or what?
Play some early pond hockey tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah. Catch.
No, it was a pleasure
yeah, appreciate it,
having
guys.
you on,
Yeah,
Trent.
thanks,
I
it was
know
fun.
it's been challenging to scheduling to
busy.
get it all together, but
He works a lot.
Yeah,
yeah,
we
he
do.
does. He does. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it because like I like supporting people who are doing positive things. You guys is a positive. There's no, I think it's great. Some people say, "Oh, well, it's a waste of money." It's not. It's really an investment in me feeling good about helping you guys. Whether
Oh,
I get a
man.
job or anything, that doesn't matter. I think you guys having fun, doing something cool. I'm all behind it.
Yeah. We sincerely
that. Yeah.
appreciate that.
Oh.
Cause I anybody that wants to really get on this it's about that. It's just, again, we all want to support each other, represent each other, Alaska, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're isolated. We got this thing going on, and yeah, thanks, dude.
Yep.
Like it means a lot to us. For you, a business in Alaska for 50 years
Yep.
to help support a little podcast that just got starting, and hopefully 50 years from now we can say,
Trent was the first.
they were one of the first. 100 years. But no, thanks
Hey
a lot.
Lou, I remember your dad was the first guy. Well, catch
that's
Trent at AKPipes on Instagram. Let's boost him up there.
Between
He's
the
always
pipes.
showing all his cool stuff he's doing, all his trips, and all the food he's
The
making.
food is awesome.
and all the
Yeah.
trips he's bringing him with his kids and exposing his kids to all that stuff. If you're not a Patreon member, please go to our website, alaskawildproject.com, and get on the Patreon. Shout out to all the Patreons that are already supporting us. Look out for the date of the meat party. I believe it's February 19th.
Saturday.
We're gonna lock in the venue. Pretty sure that's pretty much set up.
And are we releasing tickets to that first on Patreon?
Yes, definitely. First on Patreon. If you're
sure.
a Patreon member, just expect that you're going to be able to get those tickets first. And like we said, it's limited to 50 tickets. that's a +1, 50 tickets. And then if you don't get it, you don't get it. I mean, maybe you get the leftovers on Monday.
It's gonna be cracking, dude.
It's gonna be cracking. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. Love it.
Yeah, especially getting the wives involved. Expand that thing out a little bit and not make it just a straight meat party.
It's been
Jimmy Dean Festival.
Yeah, it's been a real sausage party, and the ladies are ready to go. Shout out to Emily Thompson, dude. She's so hyped about coming out to the meat party. She's like, finally,
yes,
women are invited to the meat party.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys for listening. Leave us an Apple Podcast review. And check out the website, Alaska Wild Project. We got a whole bunch of new merch that's coming up. We'll be seeing like new pictures of the hoodies and the beanies and stuff that are coming out. And thank you for supporting us. And we really appreciate you guys always listening. And Trent, thank you again for all the support you've done, not only for us, but the community and all the things that you're doing for hockey and for skiing and for everything else that you're doing, and just exposing people to the lifestyle that you're living and being a homegrown Alaska business. It's beautiful.
You're welcome. Thanks.
And we're going to go get you a caribou for sure.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Yes. Thank you, Alaska. We appreciate you. Stay wild.
You'll remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Lawn Pro AK, your year-round professional property maintenance company, providing services such as weekly lawn maintenance, driveway sweeping, snow and ice management, and tons more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located at 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Menegato's Accounting, locally owned and operated advisory and tax accounting solutions. Passion, experience, diligence. Learn more at menegatosaccounting.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made cider. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Check them out at doubleshovelcider.com.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation. Find their products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more at the Treehouse AK and other dispensaries around the state. Ask your local bud tender about AKO.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Your all-in-one cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.